Sorry.
No, we're not playing yet, but I'm just letting you know I'm recording since there is no recording in progress, right? So now you guys know what you're saying is being recorded.
Now you just have to whisper it into the mic.
No.
Recording in progress.
Yeah.
All right, Nikki's mom. We all apologize.
The best I can offer for concealing
Sincerely.
is a fog cloud.
That's not suspicious at all.
Do you like a polymorph?
Yeah. Could we
So, here's what I'm
change
gonna do.
it
I'm gonna
into
treat
like
this
a friendly
as-
little squirrel or something?
For an hour.
We're starting play right now, but what we're doing is think of this as like it's an offsite, it's a scene where
Preamble?
they are figuring out what they're doing before we kind of like kick things off. So yeah, diving in, allowing them, like describing what they did from the moment we kind of crashed to black last episode and what they plan to do next. We're just kind of go with no fancy me, sharing cold open or anything like that.
Well,
This is
listen,
a
you
bit of
guys,
direction.
at the end of last episode, I cast a spell which lets me talk to Kai for an hour. So that's how I was able to convince her not to respond to Angry Daddy in the volcano up above.
Told her about the zero tolerance
so-
policy.
I will definitely make sure she knows, like, you gotta be on your best behavior, otherwise all my friends are gonna kill you, but I promise we're good guys speech. Also, if we do turn her into something, like, I could explain to her what's gonna happen in this hour where I could talk to her.
Also, she is still pretty well. She's about the size of a mastiff, we say, right? So that's it's pretty big. It's not. You can't just put a cloak on her.
Can we
Can we
put,
dress her up like a horse or
kinda
something?
dress her
all
like
the
a
way?
small
She got like a
pony.
long neck, right? So can we just put the rest of her body in the bag of holding
You all have
and just
done,
have the
you've done
nose out?
zanier things. So if you
If
want to dress her
three
up like a pony and see
kobolds-
if that works, that you want to try to put her in the whole with her up to her neck, and then
Yeah.
Would she fit?
The body doesn't
Fuck no.
Well, what is the largest thing you've put in the bag so far? Can you recall
Like
Our
nothing.
treasure.
Yeah.
I worked so hard to get that bag and no one uses
Because
it.
I remember what happened is
It's
I
full of
remember
gold?
you made a check to. I think you tried to get the lady to make it really big, and I think it was like
Mhm.
it'll end up being like only so wide.
I think I got like a medium. I
'Cause
don't think
knew
I
you were
got
gonna
a
shove
big bag.
everything in there, so it was like no.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
can we make like a baby swaddle thing and then put it on Tuaroxes and just have it be swaddled and then?
Well, once you get it back to Tuaroxes, because Tuaroxes
It's
is
still-
on the other side. but-
It's still a pretty decent sized creature, and I think with people's general aversion to dragons, they might be like, I don't know, less than thrilled to see one in the streets.
Oh no,
So,
those zealots would be happy to see.
Very
Yeah, and they'd probably take her from us and then be mean, because we were kind of mean.
Right, because anyone can just walk up to the bullies and take something from any of you.
I'd like to see them try, but I don't want to
Exactly.
watch them try.
Would you want Kai to be a small, harmless animal in the meantime?
we do have a
I
ship
think-
on the docks as well.
It would be useful because I could at least take that time to get, if you transformed her into something more harmless, I could get her onto the ship and then we could take it from there.
Well, we're going straight to the ship now, so we'll get her onto the ship.
Yeah, but getting through the
ship.
city with a dragon could be challenging. That's all I'm saying.
We'll go straight into the ship.
How big is it? How big is Kai?
Mastiff size.
Massive
Yeah.
size.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah,
big
it's
dog
it's,
with
it's
wings.
not gonna like eat us
And
quickly, but it's big
chompers.
enough to eat one of
Yeah.
us for sure.
I mean,
Mhm.
Tell Moon and Fitz, yes, for sure.
But also very lean looking. She doesn't have all the meat and muscle.
Oh,
yet,
she's famished, you guys.
yeah, no, put her body in the bag of holding up to the neck.
See, great idea.
She won't fit.
but I will. You can try it, and
Grease
worst-
her up or something, butter.
That seems hazardous.
We're in the Vale.
Where the hell we?
What's the
get that much
likelihood that we
butter?
can find some lube?
Oh, that's a guaranteed, man.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure there's some kind of there's like aloe, like there's like plants that secrete like
Some coconut oil or something. You know,
the
we in
oils
here.
and things like that you're able to gather. You could do
You know,
that.
somebody's oiling themselves up with something and flex their
Yeah.
muscles.
That is a
Man.
great
This is gonna be the
plan
next
B.
hour for sure. Us trying to get Kai in this bag.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
I
that
don't.
what do you continue? Let me be quiet.
Okay, so when we go back, we're not going back to the tree that we came from. We're going back to the ship. Is that what you said, Proxinos?
Where I last slept.
Oh, well, that
Yeah.
makes this less urgent. I thought we had to traipse through the city.
Yeah. We just have to leave. No, stay
Well,
awake.
the tree is on the docks. It's like right if you're looking at the map. Remember the tree. So I mean, yes, that if he can just go back to where he slept, then that gets you back.
Yeah.
But
I
the
kick Proxenos
temple
every time he
the
yawns.
temple Prignos Afara is where the tree was in front of that temple on the docks, and
Yeah.
then you guys are where the Bronze Bullies, where the ship is there.
I'm getting very tired.
Okay, okay.
You
So-
just woke up. Like we've been here for like 4 hours. Chill.
Is there anything else we need to do here in the Vale?
Yeah, we need to bury the ancient one.
Okay, give me 10 minutes.
And so they did that, right? Because we're saying that you're gonna explore that later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So they
we
see
do
him
that,
being
and then we
ritual.
pass them off to my people so that they can handle ceremonies.
Was there any last command or right or anything shared from Fitz to Boli, to her brother?
Oh,
Or...
that piece of shit.
Oh yeah, Boli talks now.
Yeah, I mean, y'all still. I mean, you could kill Boli. Nobody would know. I mean, no one's around, but I don't know.
Just take like 3 fingers out of him.
I'll probably go up to him and be like, listen here, you little punk. You think you're proving yourself, but you're not. You haven't even left home. You grew up inside a painting. You don't know anything about the world. Listen to me. I've been all over the world. I kind of was there when it exploded. So you don't know shit. Maybe adventure out a little bit. Maybe like grow a pair and stop joining weird cults. It's weird. It's not cool. Use your own brain. You have one. And if you don't, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to scoop your eyes out. You know what we did to his brother? His eyes totally scooped out. So don't mess up. I'll know.
Let me come with you.
Ugh.
Let Bully come and be Bronze Bully.
Why?
You say be brave. Bully's always been brave.
Yeah, well, we don't really have a good track record with
Bully was gonna
brothers,
fight
okay?
a dragon, and
You sucked at it. You sucked at it. You
didn't tell me
literally
you-
let a bunch of us come in and stop you from doing that. And you were controlled by some other person. Look, I admire your tenacity. But I don't think it would be smart for you to come with us. We're kind of in between jobs at the moment, and it's super dangerous.
We have a
Like,
very
I could
bad-
kill you right now, or you could just die on the road with us.
Well, look at the good that I did for Jerome. We're good influences.
We have a very bad track record with new people
He
joining.
couldn't even stop a bunch of kids, Jerome. He got tied up by them.
Mm.
Right, Bully?
And then Bully just kind of like hisses at Fitz and runs and like jumps up, like scrambles up in a tree, and like he kind of like goes back into like a wild boy, like he's like little, like he's like a little Mowgli child, right? He just like looks down and he goes, "Bully will make his own team and one day come fight Bronze Bullies." And he just like grabs a branch and swings away. It probably will never. He's just nuts. He's your brother.
I'm so embarrassed to be related to that wild thing.
He's like, caca, caca. Scrambles off into the bush.
Oh,
Oh man, said I'm an owl wolf. Let's go.
I'm sorry you guys had to see that, okay? You know, I'm the sane one in my family. How weird is that, right?
yeah.
Intervention, anyone?
I mean,
Very, very much.
at least you still have him around.
Hmm.
There's time for him to grow, and maybe you could guide him.
That sounds like a lot of work.
More work than working with what you've done with the bullies.
Yeah, remember, Bully's like 12. He's literally like a little kid.
Yeah, which is why he can't come with us. He would die so fast.
If we all survive this, you have a secondary goal then.
I just don't. Yeah.
And
That's okay.
keep in mind that Kai is basically a newborn, and she might be more like that.
Yeah, well, see, I actually like Kai, so it might be easier to have a little patience on that front.
Wait until she becomes a teenager.
And then a lizard like darts out of the bushes, and Kai just like 15-foot flamethrowers just the entire patch of grass, and then eats the charred lizard.
That's gonna go on the boat with us. Nice.
That's gonna go on the boat. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
We're gonna deal more damage to it than anyone.
Do you think the market would have like flame resistant lacquer or something that I could paint the boat with?
After all of Theros destroyed?
Get a muzzle.
A muzzle? Yeah, we can do a muzzle.
What muzzle's gonna stop that?
I don't know
metal
how.
one?
See, I'm looking for solutions, but you know, if it happens, I don't have to like totally hamper her spirit, because if we put her in chains and a muzzle, and then suddenly her evil dad shows up and is like, "I could free you from those chains," then she's gonna think we're the bad people, and we're not the bad people.
We're going to need to take some time to show her what to do and what not to do.
Oh, she's gonna be so good at it, and I want to pet like her little chin.
She allows you to.
You're gonna be so good. You're gonna be so good.
Kind of like just gurgles a bit.
Oh.
Sticks her little like raptor neck out, like her skin kind of flutters.
Hey
Little
guys,
gullet.
how does this not melt your heart? The sweetest.
So, what do they do next?
Proximos takes a nap.
And
Mhm.
Proximos is going to take the short rest, and as he falls down onto the ground, all around us, this misty circle that goes through the ground appears, and everyone begins to slowly fall. Soft like being held by clouds as you're slowly falling down. It's gray and misty. And then after a few seconds goes by, a soft landing onto partial pillows, bedding, and some of you the floor, as you're in Proximos' room in the ship.
And that's where we'll start today's episode. Alright. So we return to the Bronze Bullies Space Odyssey, and as we all begin to land down into Proximos' room quarters, suddenly you hear some some footsteps coming, and a door opens. As you know, because hearing the commotion, some of these Spartans. I don't know if you also shared this with Apodexis, but you all have 13 Spartans, Acroans, which is who are or on the ship who've been assigned by their leader Tyrannica to help you basically navigate the stars and to help Akros. And so one of them kind of like bursts through and looks and goes, Chris, they're here. Bartholomew sent a couple of us to watch the tree. We didn't expect you to come back here, but I'm glad we're here. But the commotion is great. All the city is headed over to the arena. It looks as THEROS, Moby, and Apodexis got themselves into a PPF Federation match, and it's happening right now.
Some things never change.
Well, what exactly is a PPF match?
You don't know the PPF? The Pancration Federation? I've been wanting to see one of these matches all my life. Could never get off duty.
Oh my god, you guys, we should let him go see this match.
Can we all go now? The ship's fine.
The ship is fine. You
and
know
then he
what?
sees the
you
dragon,
guys go.
and he goes, "On guard! Bronze Bully, step away!
Wait!
I'll kill the dragon! I'll kill it! The demon!"
I stand
What
right
is-
in front of her.
Huh?
It's
We're gonna
fine.
need-
Shh. She's my very
this
best
is
friend.
fine.
And she brings her mouth back and kind of lights up, and she sees Fitz stop her, and so it goes away.
There is a actual fire hazard, and before you head off, you should prepare buckets with water or sand, something for stopping a fire.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're leaving it on the ship.
I will stay with her. You guys could go.
Bro tolerance. No ship on fire when I get back.
I completely understand.
And
If
can I have an animal handling check from Fitz since he's been talking? I'll give it to you an advantage since you've been since you used the spell for an hour to talk to.
Disrespectful. Sentient beings, sir.
I know. Right now, it is not. It is in its early stage. If this was if this was adult dragon, she's not going to be able to make animal handling checks anymore, right?
No.
She'll be making full on persuasion checks, right? So she's,
I got a 15.
and actually, I didn't even roll.
Are you sure you don't want it to be persuasion? Because I mean, I got
No, I know,
way
I
better
know what you can do
stats
with
with that.
So, Kai kind of looks over at you and keeps hearing you saying saying no fire, and then goes.
She's not on the ship. Very flammable.
And then kind of goes and blows like a little flame and goes, and then catches it and goes.
Good girl. See, she understands.
Then
Like,
she
give her
sticks her neck out again
scratches.
for the next scratch.
Yes. Oh.
Everybody's
you guys, this is gonna go great.
So yeah, so that goes well. What do you all? So now they're talking about this thing happening over at. Are they all going? Do they? Well, I mean, Moby's not there, so.
We had to order them to have fun, and now they're eager to go do something. I think we should let them do it.
Well, what you notice is that this is the
progressing.
scale. You ordered them to have fun. There's only 2 guards on the ship. It's this guy and another guy, Chris. That you haven't got this guy's name. They're all gone. You told them to go have fun. They're all there. He's telling you they're all there, and that 2 of them were ordered to stay back and to watch that tree. They've been watching that tree from the harbor, waiting for you guys to show up, basically, and hoping that then they get to go.
You guys
rest of them are all
go.
there.
Have fun.
This sport, if you call it that, is a waste of time. I will stay on the ship as well.
Okay.
I'd love to go to a PP fight. I haven't been. I've heard they're great.
Isn't Moby in the
I'll
PP
go.
fight?
You're in the fight.
Yeah.
Oh, he's already.
Yeah.
You get to live your dream.
Moby,
More
you
to
get
that.
to be the
Okay.
PP fight. It's for
Oh,
you.
okay.
I am not PP fighting with Moby.
Oh my gosh. So, we kind of like, as some of you stay back and some of you rush over, we kind of pan swipe over to this massive arena. It's packed crowd. Go, 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 go. Everybody's like cheering and doing waves. And there's like little like pyrotechnics like made of magic, thermatogy going off. A small ring in the middle of the arena, and you see that these two wrestlers who are preparing for the match have already come out. They already stand in the middle of the ring. One is a very large, hefty black minotaur with huge curling horns. He's got these like golden like gauntlets on, and then he's standing next to his tag team partner, this very fair-skinned woman who's just like super muscular, ripped. She's like only a foot shorter than him, so she stands toe-to-toe with the average man. She's got like black makeup on, and like she's got like what kind of like leather gladiator armor on, but of course no weapons as they stand in this ring. And you all have just arrived, and as you arrive, they go, they were waiting for you. And you like the Miletians, like hoplites, like the guards at the front, just like wave you through, knowing that your party's in the ring, but they wave you to like into the the front row of the stands. As you come out, and then you go in now, you hear like this announcer saying, "We're proud to have, for the first time ever in the Pancratian Federation, some of the Bronze Bullies." Boom! They like play some random music, and then out comes Apple, Tuaroxes, and Moby. And so Tuaroxes, of course, is kind of lumbering behind you, like towering over you. What do you all like? What's your kind of like? What are you doing as you show off? What's your entrance like, both of you?
Apo's walking behind Tuaroxes, just kind of shaking his head, looking at the two and going, "What the fuck did we do?"
Tuaroxes throws me up in the air, and I just open my wings out and just glide back down to the ground in like a slow like spiral.
Okay, so Moby glides to the ring. I love it. As Apple and Tuaroxes walk to the ring. And so here is the thing. It is only a tag team match. And I know that Tuaroxes is chomping at the bit to go in there. But the ref, like a thin Triton figure, walks over and goes, "There's 3 of you, but there can only be 2 for the tag team. Someone else is going to have to be your valet, so who's going there and fighting?" And of course you would put Tuaroxes in, but I'll leave it to you to decide who your 2 are going to be. If it is Tuaroxes, somebody's going to have to run Tuaroxes. It doesn't have to be the person who is one of you, but I'll leave that up to you all. As you see there on the screen, who you can see both Torgar and Raya, who are already in the ring.
Is that a Minotaur, Malcolm?
That is a Minotaur for now, yes.
You know we can't let Tuaroxes in that ring, right?
Yes, because then he kills the Minotaur, right? And this is not a to the death. This is not meant to be a to the death match.
Sounds like Apo and Moby by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
So good.
Tuaroxes is just like, if anything happens, just let me know it. I'll jump in. I don't care about the rules, but he just kind of like listens to you all as you both get inside the ring there. Now here is where what is that? I'm looking for something here that I cannot find. Nope. Okay, we'll figure it out later. But as everyone is cheering, if you are in Legend Keeper, if you go where the the Pan Pancration Federations is on the map, and you click on that, you can see all of the rules for a standard tag team match here. And the basic rules are tag team falls count in the ring square, basically inside anywhere inside the 20-foot square. Magic and spells are forbidden, and there are mage referees watching at all times to see if there's cheating from both inside and outside the ring and beyond. The reward for this match is a tag team championship belt that would grant will grant rerolls on inspirations used for strength and dex-based checks once per day. Then to win, the win must be by a pin or a submit, which meaning that you basically have to have someone prone and grappled, and basically on their next chance to break it, if they fail the break, because it's a six-second round, they would be pinned. They'd be counted out. Dropping to 0 doesn't necessarily win you the match. Wrestlers at 0 only take they take an action to break grapple at disadvantage in 0 strength, so they don't get any strength modifier at 0. And I didn't put, but if you survive a round, you'll get 10 hit points back. If you like end a whole turn and you're still at 0 and you're not pinned, you'll pop back up. Damage output, all attacks count as unarmed strikes, so you know how that works. +1 plus your damage. But there's a new thing. So when you use maneuver dice, every time you successfully use a shove or a grapple, you'll get a maneuver dice. You'll get a D4 initially. You do it again, you'll get a D6 added to that D4. If you do it again, you'll get a D8. Anytime you pull off a shove or a grapple, you can dump as many of those maneuver dice as you want. That counts as you actually doing a move and adding that damage to what you're doing. So they can immediately be used after a successful shove or a grapple, and using maneuver dice automatically end the grapple condition. So you would let go of someone if you were to use a maneuver dice, because you'd be slamming them into the ground. And other than that, and after any type of maneuver dice are used, the opponent who was, you were dropped on your head, your modifier for your strength or your dex drops by 1, but that's chosen by who did the move to you. And then tag-ins are bonus actions to get you wherever you're in. So, and then everything else is just standard D&D rules, how grappling works, how unarmed strikes work. Yep.
It says that you do tag in after your turn, and you're required to leave the return ring by your next turn. Is that the beginning of your next turn or the end of your next turn?
By the end of your next turn, you need to leave the ring. So sometimes people stay in the ring to do a move together.
So they do get those little double moves whenever they tag.
Yes, yeah. And if you shove somebody into the ropes, if you can shove them to the ground, or you can shove them in 5 feet. If they hit the rope, then they get disadvantage on their next skill check, and you get advantage on your next attack because of the bounce. So the ropes are around. So that's how it is as of right now. So basically, between Moby and Apple, who's going in first? The Toro, he looks at Raya and he's like, they kind of give fists, and she stays in. She's going in first. Everyone's cheering.
Going. You. I'm just pointing at you, pumping your chest. Yeah, you can do it. Just hyping you up.
So it's Apple?
Yeah. Apple steps into the ring, does the whole...
And the your opponent. So everyone will roll initiative here. Now, I know your other group at any time, of course, is Bronze Bullies fashion. You all could jump in here and cause a melee. You all can. Anyone who's not in this match still can be in this match.
Nice.
You can try to use magic, but remember they have stated they have thermitages in Meletis who are looking for cheaters. Otherwise, you can use your turn to help. You can use a help action by cheering your party on, right? So that's at this moment that's the safest thing to do. Other than that, it's the people who are in the match. So let me go ahead.
So Was Apple at full health already, or
Yes, you should be at full health because you got a long rest and all that jazz.
we change that? Otherwise, that's gonna.
Uh,
Yay!
UPF.
This round is scheduled for it. Like going through all the information there, and all right. Tuaroxes is not fighting right now, so we'll make him last. Apple, what'd you get?
Ooh, right. Oh, shit. 3.
3. Okay. Well, it's just you and that one person, so hopefully it doesn't. That's too loud.
Someone got shot.
My bad. Right.
Hey, Persis, you got subtle spin?
I'm on the ship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
they
you're on the
stayed back.
ship.
This is a waste of time. I'm making sure the ship doesn't burn down.
Fitz is Fitz is not there, so right. Fitz stayed on. And so what we'll do still is on your turn. We'll like check back in on Fitz and Persis' turn to see like what they're doing on the ship, what Fitz and Persis is doing. So Moon, what'd you get?
$18.
All right. I love that what you did. I just realized I was on the wrong screen, Eddie, while you were doing that. The cheer, the crowd. You should do that. That was great. Roxinos
10.
and right, and Sophia
15.
okay. Versus it's not. I'm sorry, I'd already said that and just saw it again and tripping. Okay. So with our actual combatants, we would move directly to Torgar is not in the ring, even though he's at initiative 9. Because right now the initiative is 18 from Telmoon, 17 from Moby. So Telmoon, are you just waiting to see what's happening? Because you're up, you're 8, then Moby's Moby's next. So if Telmoon, if you're not doing anything, Moby, how do you start this match? As you and Raya, are like kind of squaring off. She's like,
Oh, so
so nothing,
I-
Jason. I'm sorry. That's confusing what I just said, but I was basically it's Jason's turn and then it's yours, Moby. But Jason's in the crowd, so I'm giving him a chance. I don't know if Telmoon would do anything.
I'll lean over to who's in the crowd with me?
Your whole group and just a bunch of people, a bunch of like Leonins, Minotaurs, regular, like or humanoid, other humans, Tritons. It's
Yeah,
a huge
I'll
crowd.
just lean over to the rest of my party and say, "Ha, Moby's chosen the Minotaur. I like his moxie." And I'll end my turn.
Proxy's like, I believe in you. Moby, get in there. And so, Moby, you are up. As Raya is kind of, she's got like a ring in her nose.
I kind of shift my legs back and forth like I'm about to run. And I close my wings really fast to throw as much sweat in her direction, and then I just charge forward.
Okay. So as you rush forward in that charge, and meeting her, kind of getting the momentum to get on the other side of the ring and get her up against the ropes. Are you doing unarmed strike? Are you grappling? Are you shoving?
I am.
How many attacks do you have, Moby? Just one, because you're
Just one for.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. That's an unarmed strike.
That's not
So
happening.
I'm trying to at 11.
Okay, that will. So she like catches your arm, and like pushes you off, like shoves you back, and then like puts her hands up to the crowd, like throwing you back. She was like, "I've heard about the Bronze Bullies, but you're not supposed to be one of them. Get the Minotaur in here." Is that in? Is there anything else you have? Is there anything else that you want to do, or try? Is that in your turn?
I mean that's Yeah.
Come
so-
on, this isn't fair. So then we move. If Sophia's not doing anything and Proxinos isn't, then it moves to her, to Raya. All right. So then I'm not hearing anything. Raya will shove action to at you. Oh, I don't think that's gonna do it. 12 does not do it. That was a bad roll. So she tries to shove you. She's not able to get you, and then she goes for a grapple.
Okay.
Can't do math right
For
now.
grapple, is she using strength or?
17, does that hit you? Oh yeah, it's grapple. She's using strength. So yeah, 17 is what she rolled on her. She's using strength. As I think the aggressor is always going to use strength or athletics. So you could use either acrobatics or strength or athletics to break it.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, you get the choice because you're on the receiving end of it.
Okay,
So you can try to
perfect.
slip out of it.
I'm gonna probably blast this one through. That's 32 for acrobatics.
Jeez. So you just leap clear. She just can't even, touch you. So she's just frustrated. She tries to, pivot around you and go for one more shove. Man, terrible rolls. This dice needs to go away. All right, it's a 12, not going to hit you. This moves us to, so not doing well there. So who's next? We move to Beauregard, can't do anything. Apo is on the side. Anything you're saying from the... Oh, sorry, we said Moby's in. I don't know why I'm literally using...
I mean, I thought Apple was in initially. Then I was like, oh shit, I guess I'm in.
that was my fault. I swapped you guys out. Okay,
Oh,
that's my. Yeah, you guys should have called
Moby
me
told Apple to go in and then charged.
and then charged. Yes, that's my fault. I set the scene. I kind of coaxed him into it. I apologize.
he did. That's
He's doing
right.
he's doing okay.
I'm getting yeah, I had to get my nerves out. We're good.
So Apple, anything you doing here?
Apple would just yell at him, "Use your sweat one more time."
So that whole round is
Yeah, I'm
is
like-
gone through. So we're back on the ship. So I don't know if Fitz or Persis or anything you want to share. Otherwise, we move to our next round.
Versus, I have this great idea. What if I stay here with Kai and you go to the marketplace and look for some flame resistant lacquer or something? What do you think? Because she might actually listen to me. I would totally go because I can talk to anybody. But I'm just worried if I leave her with a stranger, it might not go so well. I pinky promise to behave.
I would be more comfortable if we waited until there were more people. I know you
Why?
can buy pretty much anything here in Meletis, but
I mean,
I
what are
just-
you just gonna do? You're gonna sit there and stare at us all creepy like?
you think I'm creepy?
No, I just think you're staring at us creepy.
I worry a lot about actually a lot of things. It's been a harrowing experience traveling with all of you. You realize that, right?
Really makes you feel alive, doesn't it?
I worry about not being alive sometimes.
A lot of people I know are no longer alive. But I mean, I figure it happens to everyone eventually. And For a while, I
Yes.
tried to stop it from happening to everyone, and then the world kind of exploded. So, you know, feels like there's not much you can do about it in the present.
This ship is our only lifeline to everywhere else right now.
Totally.
You're saying that I can trust you not to endanger it.
100%?
Do I believe her?
Even
I
though
don't know. I guess
it's
Fitz
up
can
to
be
you.
very persuasive. So
Yeah, so
Oh.
here's what I say about
Oh,
Fitz's persuasion. I would think that you would have to. What makes it? Because you have something that makes it really high, right? Like,
I'm a bard.
well, it's just your bar.
Yes.
Yeah, she can't roll under a 24.
Yeah, so it's just that's just super.
But
difficult.
this
I just
this
think,
also,
think
like,
that you would get
it goes
advantage and
against-
Fitz would get disadvantage if you were ever challenging each other because you know Fitz and you're like
Right.
you guys literally like are together so often that he would get it. She would get advantage and you would get disadvantage, Fitz, and you would still probably win. But yeah.
And it's such common sense. Like, you have a dragon in a ship. And also
Well, I think you're safe in knowing she's definitely not going to fly away with anything. But I think that Fitz wholeheartedly, with no doubt, trusts this dragon immediately. Because she's been talking to this egg like the whole campaign. So to her, they're the same thing.
yes. What's going to happen if someone comes to the ship looking for trouble? I mean,
do
I've
you
seen what
think-
you can do. You turn that person into ash, but
It's kind of terrifying. And impressive, but yeah. That did happen. I hadn't really
And-
thought about if someone was coming here. I just kind of assumed that no one would really mess with us.
I mean, we're intimidating, but we also flew out of the sky. Everyone in the city saw us. I'm more than happy to go shopping, but let's stay here. If you think that I'm creepy looking at you, then I can go somewhere else on the ship. There's
I
plenty
mean,
of work to do.
If you want to work, you could work. If you want to talk, we could talk. I just was like, you were over there and you were just kind of giving us this evil eye like we did something horrible. We haven't done anything bad yet.
You haven't done anything bad.
So let's
We
keep.
can.
At least
Oh no, I was gonna say. Keep
Sorry,
this
yeah, we're
conversation
we're
going.
taking your.
No, you're not taking anything from me. It's just
Yeah.
it's in a round. So they're having this great. So every time we get around from them, they can continue to have like that 12-second conversation, which essentially be like a full minute conversation. Because I always look at a 6-second like a full minute. So like, okay, so
Yeah.
there's some interesting things happening on the ship as we smash back to the stands, as people are cheering, and Telmoon is there. If Telmoon, if you're doing nothing, then or if you're trying to help Moby, you can give him a help action. Otherwise, Moby's up.
Yeah, if I can give him a help action, I'll
So Moby will get advantage. So what are you doing? What do you, Moby? You glance over and see Telmoon, and that.
I'm trying to like. I assume there's like magical lights that are going around in the crowd, and I'm trying to like use the reflection of illumination to try to shine it in Rhea's eyes to try to see if I can get a little distraction from the crowd.
And she kind of like glitz for a minute. Moby, what do you? So Moby, what do you do? You're up.
I'm gonna shove. I'm now feel like I'm ready.
All right.
I'm gonna try to shove her onto the ropes here.
All right.
And that's acrobatics. That's a 28. Good luck.
No, so when you shove, it's you have to make it an arm. You have to make it a. Use your attack action. Oh, you can use acrobatics.
Oh.
Yep. Okay. Wait. I had no silly me. Put this together, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right. So then,
Get ready to. I'm pointing at.
All right, so she fails. So you're pushing. Are you? So were you shoving her back 5 feet in on the ground, or into the basically into the ring, into the ropes, or onto the ground? Either one's 5 feet. It's just you get a different benefit if you shove her into the ropes.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna shove her into the ropes in hopes if I can. Can I? How do I go about tagging?
So when she jumps, if you shove her to the rope, she bounces back right back to you 5 feet. She gets disadvantage on her next check, and you get advantage.
Oh, got it.
You can still move and do whatever you want. Yeah.
I mean, I'll.
Oh, so
You push her and then you move back and tag Apo in? Is that what you're trying to do? Just a bonus action.
Just go full Rey Mysterio on these people.
Wait.
You don't give
I'm
him
just gonna
619 right now.
What do I have to do an unmanned or unarmed?
What are you trying? Unarmed strike is just
so low.
It's your regular strike. It's your regular. So your strength plus your proficiency. So it's your normal strike roll, right? But then your damage, you don't roll any damage dice. You're just gonna get 1 plus your strength. So your strength modifier is 3. It's gonna be 4 damage. It's gonna be a straight. But so you also got a shove. So when you did the shove, you could also turn that into a maneuver and dump. So you have one. So right now you have a D4, but you can also just hold onto that D4 and use another attack now that she's bouncing off the ropes, right? But if you do another shove or another grapple at some point, you can dump those dice to do like massive more amounts of damage, basically.
That makes sense. Okay. I mean, my unarmed strike did a 9, so even though I did a great shove.
And to make this go faster, also,
yes.
I just want everybody to know. I'm gonna do this for my characters as well. Your top hit points for a match are in half, because it's not so. Whatever your top hit points is half. So yeah. Tuaroxes half, so Apple, whatever your top is, you're 120, you only really have 70 hit points or whatever it is, 60 hit points. Yeah. All right, so what are you doing? So you're attacking?
Yep. So, I just got a 9 for my punch. So,
okay.
And I can use a bonus action to tag in.
You can't.
Correct.
You can move.
You
over.
took that punch at advantage and got a 9?
Oh, that was not.
Yeah, it's supposed to have advantage.
Because it's off the rope, so he has advantage, right?
Yep.
Lord have mercy. My bad. Yes, sir. That's better. 23.
So yeah, that hits her. All right. So then your damage would be what's your strength plus 1?
It is 10.
All right.
So 1 damage?
11. Yeah, 1 damage, sorry.
Jeez. Okay, she takes 1. And then so you want to move away to try to tag in.
I'm gonna try to tag in. Yep.
So she'll take in a regular attack. 18. Hit.
That hits.
So you'll take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then, so you're tagging in Apple, so you guys swap places. So Moby leaps over the ropes. At that moment, Sophia, unless you're not doing anything, and Proxinos, if you're not, then it would move to Raya. So if there's anything you guys want to do from the crowd, otherwise, just let me know. I'll take a moment before Raya reacts. All right, Raya.
No, not right now.
Raya rushes over and will make an attack on Apple as he's entering. Well, actually, no. So I'm sorry. You're not. You would enter the ring, but Moby's also in the ring as well. So Raya will rush and kind of follow up, try to continue to attack Moby because you're tagging, so that means you guys can still be in the ring at the same time. I don't know why I can't see my attacks on the screen. So she's attacking Moby. So she will hit for another 6 points of bludgeoning damage. So she kind of clotheslines you in the back of the head as Apple as you tag him, and then she will try to shove you with the next for 24. You want to?
Oh,
So you
shove,
have
I
to
can
respond
use
with
my
either acrobatics or strength. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So,
shit.
No, she's shoving. She's shoving Moby. So
Moby.
22. Yeah.
so you fail. So Moby gets shoved, and she doesn't shove you into. She shoves you into the like into the corner, like the buckle,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll take the D4 and and then she will go for a grapple
Okay.
for 23.
For 23.
So now if she gets this grapple, then she has a D4 and a 6.
Ooh, I got a 24. Wow.
Oh shit, you beat her. Okay, so you're able to fight her off. So she doesn't get to. She was going to dump all that extra dice. She doesn't able to get it. So she gets kicked back, and it moves to Torgar, who dashes around the other side of the ring, and just kind of just taunts THEROS, like kind of like, you know, like why aren't you in the ring, you know? And you can see him and THEROS kind of like going at it. It's getting kind of heated. But he's just standing there on the other side of the ring. Then we move to Apple. So you're inside with
Raya.
Raya. Yep.
He's gonna try and clothesline her. So that's gonna be 26.
So a clothesline would be a shove.
Okay.
So you could do the 26 just an unarmed strike, and then that'll just do your strength +1. If you actually, because the clothesline, if you actually want to prone her, then you would actually be doing the shove move to push her 5 feet and put her on her back. That would be to me, in my mind, that would be a clothesline. Well, because the clothesline, see, that's how the maneuvers work, right? So when you're shoving, you would get the D4 and you would dump that D4. You'd prone her and then do D4 damage to her. But the thing is like the more you save them up, you'd have more dice to throw. Because at some point you might have a D4, a D6, and a D8 to all do damage, right? That's kind of like the way it's like built to be.
Okay.
So if you could pull off multiple grapples, you could save up for something bigger. So,
okay, yeah, so
unarmed strike, so it's just a hit.
Unarmed strike, yeah.
Yep. So how much damage does she take?
That is going to be. That's going to be 4 bludgeoning.
4. Yep. She takes that. And you have more than one attack, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So same thing. Right? That's going to be
same thing or the shove. Okay. You doing the same thing?
No, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Shove.
Okay, so then she'll try to strength it. Oh, she rolled a 1. So you're gonna get the clothesline off. So you're pushing her back 5. You're proning her now, so she's on the ground. If you want to save your D4, you can save it, or you can just give her D4 damage right now.
I'll save it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go, Eppo.
Back on the ship. Back to the conversation. Fitz and Ursus. And you guys are on like a 1-minute timer. No, like I'm not like that's not a bad thing. I'm saying the conversation was really good. It's just so I can keep things moving. But you guys are great, so yeah. Don't think I'm not.
I think you should just tell me your life story. Like, what's the story of Persis?
Didn't we go through this?
I mean, I'm sure you didn't share everything.
I didn't get very detailed, so that's true. Like I kind of gave a gloss and an overview.
Like friend to friend,
and it was very
lady
cold
to lady.
In that approach.
What's going on with you?
Like I said, I've been very concerned about keeping all of us alive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about Akros right now. Any day now, it could drift away into nothingness.
Yep, that's definitely a possibility.
It's hard to think about anything else when that's on your mind.
But I mean, we're doing everything we can in that department. Like, we flew across the cosmos to come try to find other people who could make flying ships to fly more people across the cosmos. Like, that sounds good, right?
Yes, and now most of us are watching a wrestling match or fighting in one.
Yeah, but didn't they say that that was like part of the 12 people thing? Or did I make that up in my mind?
I think this is unconnected. It might be a consequence of them trying to contact the 12.
Could be.
We didn't hear very much about that.
Oh, I bet it's a great story. I really wonder what we missed.
I'm surprised you didn't want to go see it.
I mean, I know if I left, all I would think about is Kai, and I just figured that's not very nice. You make a new friend, and then you immediately tell them, don't do everything that's in your nature, and you leave. Like, I should be here with her.
And so
That's very mature of you.
suddenly we smash cut to Tuaroxes just loses it. Steam comes out of his nose, and he begins to grow. And as he's growing, Torgar can't help but just rush him, and they just smash horns together and start locking. And the referees, like the referees aren't in the ring; they're like standing over there, like in different corners of the ring, outside of the ring. And the announcers are like, "Oh my God, it's happening! We all knew we wanted this to happen. It should be a disqualification. We're waiting for to see what the referees say." And the mages are like, they kind of look. They realize like maybe in some way this is probably great for Meletis. They're just like, let it happen. It's like, let it play. And so there's just like this full fight happening, and Tuaroxes kind of like picks Torgar up and throws him over his back. Torgar gets slammed like down, and they're just like, Tuaroxes just punching him and wailing on him. At this moment, we smash back. Telmoon, you're seeing this happen, but you're also seeing Moby and Apple.
Yeah, no, Telmoon's not paying attention to Moby and Apple no more. Telmoon
that Moby needs to exit, but go ahead, Telmoon.
Yeah, no, Telmoon's full on, just bleed across the chest. It's time. It's Tuaroxes' time. So that's my turn. I'm not doing no things. I'm not focused on the fight in the ring anymore.
So Moby, the way this works is you still can take your turn inside the ring, and then you just have to make sure you move outside of the ring to keep it legit. Does that make sense? So you have to end your turn outside of the ring, but you can even like do and you can also, as long as you're in the ring, you can team up. You and Apple can take your turn together.
I was gonna say, because it says that there's improvised weapons, right?
Well, improvised. So if you look across the ring, there's a group of folks that, like, the announcers over there with a table. There's a table and there's a couple chairs that you see. Those are all improvised weapons, but you could also use Moby as an improvised weapon.
I mean, using Moby as an improvised weapon.
Simpsons arcade, let's go.
Just whap.
Swinging the monkey
Super
around.
sweaty,
Like, is that what you want to do?
Fuck yeah, let's
All right, so
go.
I guess I have to figure out what Moby. So I guess as an improvised weapon, Moby would count as like a club or
Just a sack, right? I don't know what a sack damage is.
I'd say Moby counts as a warhammer in this. So was that D8? Is that
It's a D10 with two hands.
D10, and you get an advantage on the strike since you're getting help from Moby. Is that what you're so? Otherwise, but before, so you guys are. Moby still gets a turn though, but Moby before he does that, Moby, what do you want to do?
I mean, after I get
No, it's
thrown.
not your turn yet. You're not getting thrown yet. What I'm saying is, after your turn, Apple's gonna, use you as a weapon, and then we're gonna exit you out. So
Gotcha.
what do you do while Raya's prone?
I want to go see if I can grab something from the tables and have a weapon.
Okay, so then that's gonna be different then, because now you're leaving. Are you gonna be back in the ring by the time?
Oh,
So yeah,
because
you're
Eddie, this
Eddie's super fast, so he can reach
so
over.
confused, bro. I feel like I'm super.
Yeah.
fast.
So this is my idea, right? Like
Yeah.
you would do like straight up like fly through the air. I catch you by your legs, bring you down on
yes.
her, and then you pin her.
Yeah. Top of the rope. Top of the rope. Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this. You don't have to. This is not a fight to 0 hit points. You can grapple as long as they're prone. You can grapple and try to pin them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the thing is that when you use maneuver dice, they lose strength. So you get to choose, right? So if she's dexterous, if she's strong, if she's got a lot of strength, has anybody used a maneuver dice? If you would have used one, then let's say her strength is 5, she would have 4, and she'd have only 4 to compete on that grappling break, which would make her weaker. So that's kind of what it's meant to like make it go back and forth. But she could just fail a bad grapple and the match could be over. So if that's what you're gonna do, then I guess because you're both in the ring, we basically just treat it as you can swap your initiatives. So Apple, you can use Moby as an improvised weapon.
So
Okay.
You get advantage because she's prone.
So it's still D20 and
Yeah, you're using an improvised. So you have not a weapon, so you're using your regular strike, but now your damage is your proficiency. You're proficient?
Not in the damage, but is he proficient with Moby?
No. So then you just get the damage of Moby.
So it's just the D20 plus your strength.
Yeah.
okay.
And then every time you hit, you do D10 damage with Moby. And then when you leave it off, Moby's gonna be prone, and Moby's gonna get gonna go for a grapple for a pin. Is basically what it sounds like.
All right, so that was 19 on the die and 3 says 20, 21.
21.
No, 22.
That's gonna hit. And then you have multiple attacks, right? So you can do it again if you want. And then
Yes.
so how much?
Do it
and
again.
then your damage is. We'll let you know the damage after the hit.
And then the next one is going to be 26. Oh.
Okay, yeah. So she's just like slamming her with this.
Yeah.
And Moby,
My body is
Matt,
ready.
As he's swinging you, Moby, like, I mean, you're probably protecting yourself. Are you using your knuckles to like be the parts that hit her, or what are you?
I mean, yeah,
I guess you just kind of like
made myself into the little
So roll 2d10s.
stack, and then it's
Apple?
just I'm using my.
3d10s.
Yep.
Does he still get his strength modifier to it, or
Yes,
is it just
you
the
get your strength
D10?
modifier as well. Yes.
So 2D10 plus 6.
Ooh, that's going to be 7. That's 11, and then strength modifier 2.
Yep.
That's 12. That's 14. 14 more.
She's looking.
Well, you hit it twice, right? So
That was a total. I think you added them up. So boom.
you did the strength modifier twice?
Twice.
Oh, so then that's going to be, it was what, 15? So 18.
18. Okay. So 3 more. Yep. So then as he hits her toy, the second one, you let go, little Moby like flops up, and then he like kind of his wings come out, and he lands back down on her, and he tries to go for the pin. Moby, I'll give you advantage. So only Moby has a maneuver dice, right?
Yes.
So then Moby, give me advantage grapple. She's prone.
Advantage
She's
grapple.
gonna try to go for strength to break.
I thought Apo had one too.
Oh, yeah, I had the D4.
Yeah, but I had
So
a
he couldn't
D4,
use it because
yeah.
he was using an improvised weapon. He
Oh,
never tried to
yeah,
grapple her,
that's
so he
okay.
can't. Yeah.
That is 30.
Oh yeah, you beat her. Okay, so you slam down the grapple. So now here's how you do. So this the way this works is she's pinned at this point, but for the count out, she needs to be able to break it. So because she's next. So yeah, you win this match if on her turn, which is essentially now, you win the match. So all right, so then she's gonna try to break, and she's gonna go for strength. Which Moby you roll to hold, right? Or does she need to beat the same? Yeah, so you roll again. So you give me another.
I roll again.
She got
Come on, baby. Yeah. 28. You staying down?
It's 18. Yeah. So it's like 1, 2, and the crowd is like 3. And they go, I can't believe this has happened. We don't even know who this little monkey guy is. We've never seen anything like it. He's not one of the Bronze Bullies that we know of. Never heard of him. It seems to be. And then, so yeah, that's happening. And what we'll do is kind of open. I keep pulling my headphones out, snapping my head back. And so this is a great win. So this referee comes in, and the Triton comes in, hands the belts. But over on the side, Tuaroxes and Torgar are just going at it, like tearing down like parts of like the set. And um, so all the they just won't stop, and so you can see that all um the spellcasters, you start to see them around the ring, just hitting them with like calm emotion, hitting them with sleep, like just hitting them with multiple spells, and they slowly just kind of like stagger. They both just keep punching each other and hitting each other, and like blood's pouring, and then they both just collapse over and go down. But inside the ring, where all glory is due to Moby and Appa. As I will say, moments later, you're all kind of in the lock, like somewhere like down below this arena. It's not like Akros. It's like a pit of like the arena in Akron is. It's sweaty. It's musty. There's blood stains still on the walls. Here in Meletis, like you can tell they have people come and like clean up the lockers every day. It's just really pristine. And so people were like, the show goes on, but you are now all down and reunited together, and you have these new, these shiny new belts that you receive. And I'll turn it over to the group to see what they do next. Just give them a moment before we, whatever continues. But yeah, good shit.
The corner
Come
consoling
through.
Tuaroxes, promising we can kill him later.
Tuaroxes is slowly waking up, like, stupid magic, like, upset that they didn't let the
Alright.
fight continue.
If we catch him on the street, it'll be
He
different.
realizes it's probably for the best because he probably would have killed Torgar.
Does he realize that?
Probably doesn't. Probably not. So now role playing, you guys can go back to the ship. You go back here. A little guy comes out, a promoter, and he's like, "You guys did great. Yeah, that was great for the kind of a little, short, kind of chubby satyr, kind of belly sticking out, and he's kind of got his kind of leather kind of shirt, kind of like if what's our boy that terrible tonight that Fitz killed,
Aramon?
a Baramon who is not nearly as high, like nearly did not. If Baramon would have gone a totally different direction, he kind of like he almost just kind of reeks a bit. He's got his big heavy hooves in the ground. He goes, "That was a good match. We need more Bronze Bullies action." And you all have also realized you've heard there's rumors at the Pancreation Federation that it's all fake, but inside that ring it was not, as you all. And he's just like, well, they're the belts, but I'd like to talk about contracts if you guys are willing to come back here. You let me know. I'm the name is Vince. I think you all would be great. You guys, we got to do a little bit more, kind of maybe figure out the angle, like what's up with like the monkey, like maybe what your outfit's gonna be, and then Leonins, those are kind of dime a dozen. What can we do with you? What can we do with the main? We need a shtick,
When he says dime a dozen, like he puts his muzzle right, like
All right. Don't you listen. Don't worry. I didn't mean any harm. I didn't mean it fits. It's just business. People love y'all. And he looks at the rest of you all that are there. He kind of grabs the one cricket horn on Tail Moon. What say you? Already maybe do the Rumble Royale. That's coming up next month. Why don't you all like join in on this thing? Isn't there a little like bard satyr you all have and you also you were running with the Triton, he had a I like his shtick. He had like shield and everything. I thought it totally would have worked better with a Triton, but he'd have like his little fork, but he had a sword. What happened to him?
and then Apple lifts him up and goes,
Man,
And-
I want a wisdom save to not slap the shit out of this man right now.
Vince, the show was great, and we'll think about it. My friends here, They are a bit touchy on some subjects. Unfortunately,
I'm sorry,
I-
I get a lot out of pocket sometimes. And as he's like trying to, like you said, shaking, like his little money pouch like spills a bunch of gold coins all over the ground. He's like, just take them all. It's fine. It's payment for the match. It was good.
Just be careful because I've been known to take people's hands.
I'm
That's
just
not
glad
that's
that
not
they've-
necessary. That's not necessary.
And he like gently puts them back down and then like smooths out the leather and
And that what you all long story short is there's probably more to it, but as you were looking around the city, Tuaroxes got frustrated trying to find this Theodetis or find the 12 and convince you all to go check out a match while he's waiting, and you guys got sucked into like they called you guys out as being in the ring, being there, and you guys wouldn't. Tuaroxes wasn't going to say no, so you guys ended up in a match.
Did they secure a meeting with Theodetis at the very least?
They did not.
Did our workers collect the people that we knew? We were
Yeah, like we gave them a job. We
we
let them
sent them
play,
on a
but they had a
task?
job, and they didn't do it.
Bartholomew?
Who
Did
you
he
want
let
who
us
did you
down?
want them to collect?
Everybody, we sent them with a list of people to go from round up.
all
Like
the people,
Deimos?
all
Oh, they
the
didn't
yeah.
They found them. They know where they are. Like so Deimos said like you all knew where to find. Deimos was like so
They know where to
Bartholomew
find
was
me.
like Deimos like kind of like threw his neck up like collect us. It's like tell them to come see me, like and who else would you have probably gone to? They did not locate who else would have been on that list?
No, they were just supposed to
Pacifist
set up
guy?
appointments. Like they weren't supposed to like bring them to the ship.
Oh, okay,
Like
gotcha.
appointments
That's
is
what
what
I'm
we
saying.
need.
Yeah, you have appointments with all those people then. That worked. Yeah, you can
Okay.
easily go
Okay.
see any of those people on that list.
Who's about to get a new slave group?
Jesus.
What so yeah, so as you all are kind of now leaving that area back on the streets of Meletis, Persis and Fitz are, still on the ship. Where to next?
we should meet up with Persis and Fitz.
Yeah, we'd go back to the ship. I expect the hoplites to meet back there eventually, right?
You all are kind of walking with. What's funny is like some of them were like at the match, and then some of them were kind of still scattered throughout the city, like having their appointments. And so you're kind of saying like walk through the city as people kind of crowd around. Fitz is not there for the first time ever not to hand out little Bronze Bullies flags. And you notice a kind of dark-skinned, lean woman, familiar faced. Her hair is kind of done, kind of in twisties, but kind of done up in like a ponytail, so it kind of poofs in the back. And last time you met her, she was wearing like armor, and now she's just wearing like a toga. And as she walks over to you, the familiar, she says, "I know you probably don't remember me. I'm not trying to get an autograph. It's Xenophia. I am the Theodetis is my teacher. As you can
Of
see,
course, we'd remember anyone who's as good with a blade as you. Seems you've placed it to the side, though.
I'm sure you are. Flattery is what you do best, but I am. I don't think I was as good as a blade as you say, but I will say you all are, or those that are in the ring are more amazing than I even saw than before. Clearly, your stature and renown precede you, and you are above. You're definitely above taking guard or protection jobs, but I must beseech you, for the sake of my teacher, Theodetis. He's in grave danger, and I do not believe that I can help him alone. He believes that violence is simply, he believes that violence begets more violence. And for me, to continue to study under him, I had to forfeit my place as a guard. But I have happily done so.
You say his life's in danger again. Has the threat maintained being the same thing?
He hasn't been attacked as of late, but I spend many a time and an hour. One thing I do well, what I'm better than with a blade, is my ears. And while there are many people who have praised him for reaching the status of the 12, he has made enemies of other philosophers who disagree with his beliefs and believe that he should be silenced. I know that what I ask goes against my master's teaching, and that is why I am still the student. But while he may choose not to protect himself, he cannot choose who protects him.
We'd be more than happy to have a few conversations. Do you think your master could help us in return?
The problem is, I fear the worst. I fear with what I've been hearing, that eventually someone will attempt on his life again. Before you all had come along, I had already shed blood for him before. It just seems that now that the grumblings are coming from those with power, I don't think they'll be cheap, hired muscle this time around. And this is why I ask you. He's having a speech at the Agorist Theater on the tomorrow's evening. And so maybe you can go there and watch for threats. Unfortunately, you would think I would be able to get you closer to him, but as I have committed to, part of our agreement is I had to stop guarding him. This has caused me to lose some of my privilege. That said, I can tell you a little bit about the Agora, about the theater, but you will have to figure out how you wish to get close, whether that be just attending his speech, or maybe even trying to sneak backstage. If you do either, whatever you do, I do think you should downplay your appearance, as clearly you are definitely you're kind of
Recognizable.
reasonably recognizable.
I can't believe it. The world's falling apart and crashing, and people are still trying to kill each other through these politics.
It
That's
is one of the
nature
things that
for
he
stupid
talks
politics.
about. The cities goes on. No one seems to. Everyone seems to carry on as though it's business as usual.
To say, I think we're more of a deterrent when we're recognizable, but if you don't mind it coming to a fight.
I see. I yes, pardon me, you are correct. What I was saying is, if you are trying to get close to him, or maybe into his back quarters, but then again, yes, maybe you have sway. Maybe they will let you back. I know that if Theodetus is to spot you, he is probably going to. He typically travels only with his other philosophers of his kind, and he refuses to have guards around him or those in his presence with weapons. So that is what I'm worried about. But yes, your presence as Bronze Bullies could be a deterrent in itself. Maybe from an audience standpoint, or just a vicinity. This is why I came to you. I figure you might know best how to handle this, or how to approach it.
If you're worried about assailants coming, then the best way would be to have a few that are looking out from different entrances, possibly in the back room. or if they're brazen enough to go into the front.
And I imagine she walks with you and talks with you all the way back to the ship, to where you guys eventually, if she was invited on, then this brings Fitz and Persis into the.
Are there any like smoke plumes as we approach? Like any
No,
smell of
no,
char?
no fire, no smell of char. Everything has gone fine.
Because we was gonna have to have her put some earmuffs, close her eyes for a second. Okay. No. Yeah, we'll invite her on the ship, and as we see Persis and Fitz, say we probably have a few who could go backstage without weapons if necessary.
Yeah.
And they're better at the non-weapon stuff. And I'll point to Persis.
Backstage without weapons? What's going
Huh?
on?
You haven't met, and I'll formally introduce her to Sophia, Moby, and Persis, who are new.
It's
and
an
then
honor.
pass it
Your
to
group
Persis.
continues to grow. All of you seem quite capable. As I always know I've come to the right people. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what I cannot provide you proper gold for this, though. And I know that for you, philosophers are not your thing, and no one you would need to speak with at all. So, but I just ask this if you are able to do this out of the kindness of your heart. I know that Theodetis and I can find a way, or I can find a way to pay you long term. I will owe you. I'll just be indebted to you.
And we have, on the contrary, we do have need of your aid.
You do?
Theodetis has risen in stature for a time, and we may need the aid of the leaders of the city. Our presence has been spread around, but our purpose here, possibly not. Akros is in extreme danger.
Akros still exists?
For now.
Everyone is saying that Meletis is the only shining beacon, and that all of Theros is lost. That there was nothing else out there.
No.
Oh, there's definitely stuff out there.
The veil exists as well.
She just kind of takes a moment, like mind blown. How have you got? And then she goes, "How have you? You're telling me you've been there?"
Through this ship.
Apo knocks on the hull of the ship.
And
how is that possible? You would have to journey into the Nyx itself.
Yes. Wow. To be honest, we're still struggling to understand how it's worked, which is probably part of what we would need your help with.
By the gods, you are blessed by all of them.
Persis flies with their fish brain.
Well,
she's really good at it.
Absolutely. Well, if there is something to gain by talking to Theodetis, then yes, then clearly this is ordained then.
Tomorrow evening at the theater, correct?
Tomorrow evening at the theater. I will be in the audience. If you are in the audience, you can always spot me. I will be on the 10th row of the amphitheater. It is an open space. I will look for you unless you end up going in or through the back. If you need any more help, I am staying at a little crappy inn over here, but she kind of points to, you can always also find her. She frequents the Hydra's Blood tavern and bar. Yeah. So other than that, she's like, okay, yes. She seems to be kind of fulfilled with like faith by this, and seeming like kind of feeling like she's done the right thing. As she leaves you all,
before she goes, what's the policy on weapons in the crowd?
Weapons will be checked at the door in the theater. They will not allow you in with those. And As you
Does
know,
that
if you
include
get
walking sticks?
walking sticks are fine. I don't think anyone would stop you on those. I'm sure you can kind of gives you the wink, maybe hide certain weapons, daggers, small things like that. But she kind of looks at all of you and she's like looking at those rapiers, looking at the axe on Tuaroxes' back. She's like, yeah, a lot of it's just not. And then she hears like from the room in the back. She's like kind of looking over like whatever that is, like. Just,
Terrible cough you have there, Fitz.
Oh yeah, it's just been bothering me these last few days. Really bad.
Not gonna
That would
introduce you
not
to
be
that.
some.
Oh, okay.
By the way, I think we have a way to circumvent the weapons. Fitz,
Oh, her bag.
kind of like Proximus takes his long dragon spear that was remade. Could you put it in the bag?
Gladly.
And you just see the bag just take the whole thing and disappear.
All right. Yeah.
Apple takes the flail, the mace, the sword.
I should have
The
been impressed
Walmart
at
gift
flying
bag.
ship. And she's like, I should have been impressed at flying ship. All right. Well, we can do this then, or you can do this. I can just simply help in any way that I can.
Don't worry.
Anyway, we can get some front row seats.
That I think I can do. And so she goes, she'll get back to you. So she can secure that. But leaving you all, this is a moment where, yeah, you all went to because you really within, I'd say, I think when I tracked it, all of 6 hours went to the Skull of Vale, saved Kai, and came back. So it's like the second half of the day. It's kind of getting late here in Meletis. It's tomorrow evening, so you have an entire day that day too. And so we can play that in multiple ways. It could just be a couple of montage shots. It might be some shopping, might be some other things you want to do in the city. But you all do have time before we kind of move directly to that moment. And I'll leave that up to you how much of that time you actually want to spend.
Okay.
And what I'll say with that is, as she's leaving, we'll take our 5-minute break here. But this gives you guys a chance to figure out what do they want to do next in the city. They've got a full almost a day, 8 hours plus this evening of time to figure out how they're gonna tackle it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, good stuff.
All right.
Anyone need supplies? I'm apparently going to be shopping for fireproof enamel.
Yeah.
I could use another sheath.
There you go. I was thinking maybe we could stop by like a stable or something and see if they have a harness or some sort of
my God.
lead
Oh, no,
or
we got you.
something
You,
that
you-
we could
Me and
we could
Tuaroxes got you.
fashion.
Don't worry.
I don't know if I trust you.
Mm.
Wait. We could probably morph
wow.
into a pony.
She just throws like, I don't know about y'all.
I'm worried. No one seems to like this dragon, so I'm worried about being like, will you please take care of my pride and joy and love of my life, please?
Well, it's a dragon. So
This is why I'm afraid.
I've met dragons.
But do you think a horse saddle is gonna fit Kai?
No,
we-
I
saddle
thought
was
the-
not. She wants a bridle. She wants a bridle.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
want, like, a
literally the
lead.
meanest thing you can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. No,
I
bridles are
don't have to put a
Yeah.
bit in it. You
Yeah.
don't have to include the bit in the bridle.
So you want a
Just say it.
leash?
Yeah, bro.
I want
So we're talking about a
something-
muzzle.
You want a
No,
muzzle?
You
I'm
have
not
to have-
talking about a muzzle.
So you want a head
You have to
leash.
have something to either go in the mouth or around the face.
Or around the neck, like a
It's
lot,
just
like
gonna
a
be like a
dog.
So
little
a collar.
It's gonna be like a
Like
little
something-
cage
I
around
was
the mouth.
picturing. I was picturing like the something like you would use to saddle a horse, but not the saddle. Just a way to like be like, hey, you kind of belong with us. Please don't fly away.
Oh, so like
Also,
the,
so
the
that I
service
can
So you
dog
want us
sleep.
to hobble
vest.
her?
Yeah.
We can hobble her. That's fine.
I
Okay, we don't gotta go misery, all right? That's kind of fucked
No,
up.
not like No, you evil person.
When I hear the word hobble, that's what it means.
We're
to
gonna
me.
restrain her wings.
It doesn't have to be her
We're
wings.
not gonna take out her legs.
God.
This
That's
is
how
why
you stop
Fitz wants to
friends.
do the shopping.
That's how you stop friends from flying away. You snip their feathers so they can't fly.
I can't snip her
okay.
wings.
No, but what
That's why
Fitz
we're hobbling.
what Fitz is saying makes sense. If you put the heart like the whatever it is, it's gonna go around the wings and secure it that way, then they won't open up.
Yeah, we're gonna shackle her wings together. It's fine.
I mean, it's gonna have to be tight.
I don't think there's a word.
That's
You're gonna
not
like
what I'm
it,
going
that's
for,
gonna
you
come out of
guys.
You
people's
want
No,
a
there
real
is-
tight leather hug is what you want. Just the real
It's a
big
harness.
leather hug on the wings.
Yeah, I just don't want her to just fly away. I wanted to like be able to sleep and like tie her to my bedpost or something.
We will make sure she never
You know,
moves again.
something
For
that's a
the
little
time
sturdier.
being, that may work. But
I
once
just
she
need some
goes from-
training tools, okay? Like, first you've got to leash train your dog before you can walk it off leash. You got to know that it's okay before you can let it just roam free. We got to
Yes.
have some
How much-
training.
How much money do y'all have? Because that's gonna take a
We-
lot of fucking treats.
We have
That's good.
10,000 gold.
You're buying like
we don't have
full-fledged
10,000
like
gold to
ferrets.
train the dragon, okay? We have to have a little
You're
bit
buying
of
like
gold to train the
a
dragon.
horde of live ferrets to feed Kai
Yeah, we got to think
to
about
just
that
teach
too.
her how to sit.
This is where the contract deal for the pancreation fighting goes in. You know?
Right.
Wait
Gotta
a
make the
minute.
money.
We're gonna need all that money up front.
If they ever want to fight for real, they can call me. Until then,
All I'm looking for is to just get some grocery shopping and just make a meal.
I mean, like I'm saying, I just asked for a little other work, but apparently Sophia wants me to pause on that.
Dude.
You know that
That's
we
correct.
do have a dragon that
Yes,
has
that is
feathery
Oh,
wings.
100% correct. Sophia has has
it's
a plan, but it depends on if you want to go with her or not.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Yes.
Yeah, like I mean, when a dog is bad, like you get like a shock collar
No.
and a muzzle.
Do any of that. Yeah,
That's
I
you
feel
what
like
you do.
Kai's more like cat-like.
Yeah, like I feel
Yeah.
like we need to get like an anti-breath
100% like,
weapon
fuck you.
shock collar. We need an like if you feel the urge to let that thing on fire, shock.
It
Don't
just
do it.
releases calm emotions, just like constantly.
Just releases shocking grasp constantly.
No!
Stop that.
Note
Dude,
to
this
self,
is the
tell
first
Moon does
water
not
bottle.
babysit.
That's
This could
that's
absorb
that,
element.
I didn't invent this machine.
Yeah,
Like, this
so
is
did
a
I.
valid machine that's used on pets. Usually those pets don't breathe fire, but
Or are the size of a massive
Yeah.
there's
to
massive
be
size shock
continue
collars.
growing.
No, like I get like
Yeah, it's called a cattle prod, my guy.
like mastiffs are scary, man, because like we do training with our
There's
dog.
different breeds, but yes.
Dude,
Yeah,
my
I mean, the one
my-
that we do trainings with, like if it stood up, I'm 6 feet tall.
yeah.
If this thing stood up on its hind legs, I'm like, what's up to the middle of its chest? Like that
Wrong neighborhood.
it is freaking scary. Then when it walks up to me, like I'm like, hi, here's a couple treats. So you stay away from any part of my body that is like
Yeah.
soft bits.
Like my good friend's wife is like the premier trainer or like breeder of French Mastiffs in the US. Bruh, I remember being in the middle of an audit with him and him be like, I need you to come with me. And I'm like, why? They wouldn't let the dog through customs because it was a 250-pound dog crate. And there's no way that's just dog. You guys are smuggling drugs or something. But the dog wouldn't let them get into the crate to check it because it wasn't with the master. So they just had the crate in customs. We had to go to the airport to get this 230-pound dog in a 20-pound crate. They were just like, yo, like weigh the dog if you want to. Like, but yeah, those things are
My dog is barely 10 pounds. Like that's fucking
Did you recently just get the dog? Your dog, Renee?
We got him November. Like the day after we got him was his birthday. So he's 1.
Yeah, that's dope.
But he's a rescue too. So he's a Morkie. Like he's
okay. Yeah.
Yorkshire Terrier and Maltese.
That's dope. Extra furry, but just
the first couple of weeks we had him, like the neighbors had rats that were going. Like we haven't seen a rat.
Oh yeah, them terriers, they'll tear up some rats. Oh, yeah. Look at this buddy. Is he getting along with Emery all right? Imani, my bad. Why'd I call her Emery? Imani.
Oh, look at him.
What's up, Adonis? What's up, Donnie? Oh, you're not
muted.
Sorry, I turned my mic off.
Yeah.
He's getting along with her really well.
That's good.
And we're going through like
being nice and gentle because we know that dog gets excitable.
Yes, so he's so far he what's funny is like he's gotten to a point where now is he just knows his zone. Like he can't like be all up in her. He knows like this is where he can be, and so he'll like because we what we did is like we'd put her out. And then I'd stick with her, and I'd be like, Donnie, you could be here, right? She could be here, and you could be here. And we just did that like a little bit every day. And then if he was curious, like I would like keep a distance, to cover her face and like allow him to kind of sniff. And slowly gets to the point where he can sniff like her hands, her feet. And and before that, even when she first was born, I brought home her like swaddle and let him sniff it. Like all that stuff. So now he's at the point where he's like, oh yeah, she's part of the family. So he's good with that. But only thing he does do is when you're holding her and like she gets excited when you guys are having fun, he feels like he's being left out. So he runs and gets his toy like, hey, look at me. I want to play too. And so, or like if Jennifer has her and then Jennifer's like, you hold hers. The minute I have her, he runs to Jennifer for some affection. And then the minute I hand her back, he runs to me for some affection. And so he's just trying to get what he can while he can. But yeah. But I also try to like make sure they both like, even if I spend some time with her, I'll like after I like give her to Jennifer, I'll go see Donnie and I'm like, hey buddy. And I just do that with him for a little bit just so he knows he's not being forgotten.
Yeah, once she's bigger and you can put her like in like carry her in the pouch or whatever you guys are like whatever harness you guys are gonna have for her.
Yeah.
That's gonna make him so much better because then he's really gonna feel like, oh my, like, oh, she's coming along with us. She's coming
with us on walks and all that. And then I just gotta like, I'm already thinking ahead about like, I've gotta like train her, make sure not to like pull his tail or pull his ears and do all that kind of stuff as she gets bigger. Because that's what most people don't teach their kids how to do. And then they do something stupid and the dog goes crazy and then you gotta put your dog down. Right. So it's like, but it's touch and go. But so far it's been good.
What breed is he?
He is a shepherd mix, but he's pit terrier and shepherd.
Dude, that's a hell of a mug.
Super cool, man. Like he was like he could smell my dog when I went over to Malcolm's when Nick and I were playing, and then but it was funny because like he scared himself. Like he came. It took him what, an hour to come by me, and then he let me pet him. And then he backed up because like his tail hit his water, and he freaked himself out.
He freaks himself out.
Yeah,
he's the runt of his litter, and so he's a little like scaredy cat. And he's never given me. I know everybody says it, but he has never given me like a point of pause. Like I don't know, like he's never done anything. If anything, like before I had Emery, I wish that he was a little bit more assertive because like he has a mean bark, but then if you walk towards him, he's like, how do I get out of here?
He was for sure barking on that back pedal every time I showed up.
It's a back pedal bark. If you ever seen one, it's like the tail is going and
like, bro, it's just a hat, chill out.
He barks at Jason and then will run to the stairs and then bark and then run back up and bark and run. He's not trying to have none of it. When I first got him, he was a big little puppy, and I took him for a walk. And we were out walking, and he was sniffing the bushes, and it was at night, and I couldn't tell that there was a cat hiding in the bush. And it was a kitten. And so I'm thinking, because there's a lot of cats around here, so I'm thinking, like, if Donnie gets one of these cats, and I know it's the neighbor's cats, so I don't want him to kill no cats. So I'm always trying to pull him away because he gets really excited by them. But like he's sniffing the wall, and I didn't realize like the cat, like so the cat was on the bush. It was like hiding. It was holding onto the wall, and it was like right above his head. So he's sniffing down like this, and the minute he looks up, it leapt onto his face. It was like a face hugger from Alien. It was like, wham! And it just got him. He was just shaking it. His tail curled.
Oh my god.
He should have killed that cat, right? No. He like turned, he just like cat scratched him up, and he went home and was like, what happened? He was so shaken up, like, I don't know what happened, you know?
That's like all the dogs at the training, because we're taking Ricky with us to training. So like tomorrow morning, that's what we do. All the bigger dogs, they're scary as hell, right? When you see how big they are, and then they hear him bark, and all of a sudden, I was just like, "Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah,
You freaking kidding?" Like my little dog is.
It's
like,
the little dogs that
like
act like they're gonna like kill everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, there is one thing I have, like, we haven't had a rat problem because our neighbors had birds and stuff again. Within the first week, like, I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. He like leapt up on the wall, and then I saw the rat tail hop on. It was in a bush right where our patio is, and it jumped up to this, and I heard it scurrying. I was just like, good job, man.
Yeah.
Don't come on our side anymore, because like he will hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
It's a beautiful thing about terriers.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, like right now, like we're having to socialize him and all that stuff because he was a rescue. They they found him on the streets of Ventura.
Yeah.
So, like, and I'm sorry, not Ventura, Van Nuys, and so like he doesn't do social well. Like with us, he's cool. With my parents, he was all right. My sister-in-law came back to visit. He just barked at her the whole time. We're like, all right, we'll put up a fence, and like, but I mean, it's just. He's a super loving dog. Like,
yeah,
I've been messing with my kids too because they're just like, he'll come home like, and he sees me and he's just like, oh my god, you're home, right? Like jumping on top of me, and then like, I went on my training for like 3 days, so I was out in Oakland for like 2. When I came back, like he got so excited he just peed on the floor. My kids were like, we missed you, and I'm like, y'all didn't pee.
Did you miss him that much?
3 days, like
really
you didn't miss me
somebody.
that much.
Have you tried, because if he's being aggressive when like meeting people, having him meet outside of the house?
Oh, are you asking?
We haven't tried
Is
that
it?
yet.
Yeah, because that could be a thing. Like if he's feeling protective of the house as like his territory.
Oh,
That's
then-
part of it,
no.
but also Maltese breeds are assholes.
Yes.
There's some of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, the terrier in him is just like, I'm gonna guard everything, even though I'm so small, anything could crush my head. But then the Maltese just like, I'm 8 feet tall, bitches.
Yeah. Yup.
I mean,
Oh,
like
no,
today,
why?
I took him on a walk, and like the 4 dogs on the other side, the neighbor's just like, hey, how's it going, Renee? And I was just like, hey, how's it going? And his 4 dogs are all out, and Ricky's like, "Rawr!" but barking behind my leg. I'm like, oh yeah, starting some shit, huh? Good job. Good job.
The transitions.
So, as we pick back up, and Xenophia has left, the group is there on the ship with their 13 hoplite guards and their newly acquired, pet dragon, preparing for the rest of the evening and the day to come. Like I said, I know that we're so used to kind of going step by step, but you all can also, in general, in strokes if you wish, but it's up to you. Unless they prefer to shop for the next hour, they could do that, or do they want to kind of like hit certain things, or do they kind of want to just move time forward? But I'll turn it over to you all.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Sounds like Sophia wanted to do something.
Yeah.
this seemed like some
Uh,
shopping, some getting some stuff
Okay.
around.
Yeah.
Are we just looking for some general stuff? We're looking for. I know Persis is looking for some lacquer, some flammable
Mhm.
or
Flame retardant
flame
coating.
So we're talking
Coating.
about the most humane saddle muzzle hobble contraption that we can
We
come
can
up
try.
with. The most humane.
the most humane. Okay.
But also this thing can't open its mouth.
Okay.
That's why Fitz is going to be modifying whatever they bring back to make sure that Kai is nice and comfortable.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna get a bear trap with the long chain.
Velvet lined. Velvet lined. It's
So
fine.
after asking around, like with Fitz trying to tell people what she's looking for, people point you to like the locals like stable, stable hand, and after hearing
Wait,
Fitz,
I'm sending other people
Oh, you're
out
sending
for
other
this
people
because
first. Okay.
I'm staying with the
Staying with the
dragon because
dragon.
I trust no one with the
Shh,
dragon.
he's not leaving
so
that
this whole
dragon.
episode, you're not leaving the ship. Is
No.
what I hear.
Unless, because the only thing that we can do to disguise Kai is polymorph, and that only lasts for an hour, and I don't
Okay.
want to steal someone's spell slots all day.
Proximus is fine if
And-
you want to have Kai around as a
It's
small
a city
animal.
episode. I mean,
Right.
yeah,
As like
Yeah.
a little squirrel, I think it would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But we need like it might help if you polymorph them into something like similar size, so we can get like measurements. Because if not,
Like
we're
an
just
actual
coming back with
mastiff?
like
How about Fitz can like take the thread and the string that she has for making all of her merchandise, and she could take measurements of the dragon before we
mastiff-sized
polymorph
squirrel.
it. Hmm?
so like a mastiff-sized squirrel. We'll be fine.
A massive sized squirrel, not just a mastiff.
Well, we could just say that we have a very small pony,
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like,
Yeah.
like
otherwise
like a little baby horse.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was kind of like. So they keep, they describe like they're surprised that you need a muzzle for a small.
Like
Pony.
a bridle. Don't listen to him. We
Like a
basically need a bridle, but I'm
It
like not
bites, we
so
need a muzzle.
interested in the bit.
Mhm.
It does not bite. It's fine.
Do you need it
Doesn't
to be
bite
a certain
me.
so the material to be really strong for the?
Yeah, the stronger the better.
Okay.
We'll steel reinforce it later.
So you find stable hand is able to. If you say you're gonna reinforce it, then for maybe 20 silver pieces would make that. So not even so 2 gold, to do something like that. But if you want it sturdier, if you're saying this pony is as strong as it is,
Oh, strong as a bull. That's why she's with us.
Okay. Why don't we make it as strong as possible then? And settle on that, and just 5 gold that we can get it for you and have it. We can reinforce the ones that we have here. You say it's a small pony about so big. We can have this to you by tomorrow evening.
Do you have any fire retardant materials?
They tell you who you might be able to find that in the market square or like around where the kind of gear, what do you call it, like general merchant who would have like adventurers gear and stuff. So the shop hand there points you in the right direction. Can someone give me a D100 roll?
Yes.
So what they're making for us is not innately fire retardant.
Actually,
They're just like,
leather.
you want the leather on to be fire retardant.
Yes, I don't
Because
want
what
her
I'm
to be
thinking
able
is
to
you want
burn
a
her way
muzzle.
out.
If she can't shoot it, then she can't.
Well,
Burn
she
it.
won't let us muzzle, so we have to have to
no
make sure
muzzle.
the chain
That's
is
I'm
fire
thinking
retardant.
There's a muzzle on this thing. If there's no muzzle,
I
on
want-
this thing,
I want a bridle, like a
What's a
bridle for a
bridle?
horse.
I'm gonna be honest.
but-
This
I
thing's
don't
gonna
think
bite through
there's
that and
any
just-
fire retardant that's made of leather or any kind of strap.
You could
If it's a
you
small
could
dragon,
treat the leather with like
that
an oil or
fire's gonna
something,
burn
right?
it.
Yeah, you know.
Now for the ship, maybe
Mhm.
there's something for
So we could do something that's like chain instead of leather.
chain, yeah.
Yeah, it's chain.
Yeah. Okay, so that will cost a little bit more. So say 20 gold. I mean, it's not that it's anything off you guys' back. They'll do it in chain. They find this very strange,
Mm.
and just listen. Which one of you is doing most of the talking here? Because I know Fitz is on the ship, right?
Fitz
So-
is here. No, Fitz is here.
Fitz is
right?
here.
Fitz
Fitz
is here.
we have
If
Kai
I
that's
can-
polymorph.
Kai is a little
Oh, so you
unicorn
have- so you-
Pegasus.
Yes.
So-
I was voting squirrel, but
Squirrel.
okay.
Pegasus is probably more. Yeah, we. So
All right, fine.
little-
But Kai is a fat little squirrel.
Because
Kai has
then that
wings.
makes sense if you see the Pegasus. Then you guys.
Can't
draw
you
more-
polymorph
You
something
can.
into?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It-
So it's a squirrel. Is it a squirrel?
it's a squirrel.
Yeah, we can roll with squirrel.
Have
if
you
you
seen
want.
a squirrel?
Fat squirrel on.
I've-
Doesn't mean.
You've been a squirrel,
Yeah, he's
right?
been a
I've been a
squirrel.
squirrel. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this creature now we're going leather because you want it to be not to be fire resistant, so we're gonna go it in chain. Never done it. We can do it. This creature. You sure this creature is a horse? This isn't.
Totally. The horsiest horse you've ever met.
So this isn't some kind of king You guys are...
Hey, they're into what they're into. I don't ask questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should.
They just sent the smooth talker, you know? I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
It's
Yeah,
embarrassing for me,
harnesses.
too.
Every now and then we get people that come in and ask for, stuff to be made out of
the
chains
fuck?
and leathers, and sometimes fire retardant stuff, and it usually is
You're just lucky that we got
for a
assless
horse.
chaps in the last city, you know?
Okay,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I would have had to ask you, too. And that was embarrassing.
Not a
Those
problem.
were my
20
questions.
gold, no more questions, and we'll get it done for you.
Thank you. So we should come by tomorrow night and pick it up?
Yeah, right around, we usually close around 6.
Awesome. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
It's out here ruthless. She out here on that express build and all that. I ain't paying you no extra.
I just like
Those are
leave
for
a
Moby.
bronze bully flag on the counter before I walk out.
Kind of like picks up.
And now everybody knows that the Bronze Bullies are some kinky motherfuckers.
It's like he just holds it up, and like the other the other shop owners probably like they're kind of probably spouse kind of walks in, and she's like kind of leading one of the ponies, like she heard some of the conversation, and he's holding the flag, kind of looks at her like, I don't know. As we
Hey,
Who
well,
would have thought? Who would have thought?
I think that went very well.
I think so too. I'm really glad we got a good price on that.
I'm hoping that we can also find some sort of butchery or some kind of meats. I want to make some jerky treats.
You can definitely find all that. No, I would say there isn't any need for any checks, as you would find a great marketplace in Meletis where, where you'd find the finest cuts, and Meletis mostly is a seafood town, but you could find some good, meat beefs and porks here.
You
as
say
well.
jerky treats like this thing ain't gonna need 30 pounds of meat a day.
Right. I'm talking live pheasants.
Maybe
You
she
can
likes
also
to
buy.
go
You
fishing.
can also buy cattle, and remember, you all
We're
have.
gonna need it.
Remember, you have a certain amount of. Well, those you probably have to feed those.
We about to
chickens.
Jurassic Park this
Have you
shit?
guys-
We
if
just
you
gonna
go back
feed
to
our
your-
live goats?
in Legend
We
Keeper,
have to.
if you go to your ship, you can see what's on there, and right now you have the, like in your hull, you can see your cargo.
Yeah, we got spices and
40
shit,
gallons.
right?
Yeah, you got spices. You got crates containing 50 loaves of bread. You've got a coop with 50 live chickens, which I don't.
They're okay. They're gone.
Those are gonna be gonna
Yeah.
be
Just in
fast.
case, can we not use goat? Just to,
Not
for
use goat?
precautions. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
skip
since
the
we're
goats.
half goats.
That's just from
Oh,
a
no
precaution
goats.
perspective.
Sure,
That's
sure.
By the way, Mal, you asked for a D100 roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
I rolled a 9.
Okay, that was to see the possibility of finding this this substance that could be anti-flammable material to use on the ship. So I don't know if that's still something you all are looking for.
No, that's cool.
So what the D100 means is that if you usually I go low, so that 9 probably means that it exists, is what that roll is. The rest of it is now investigating or making an investigation check as you kind of walk through the streets to see if you actually are able to find the actual merchant who sells it.
If you guys are cool with it, I definitely want to look for something like that to protect our precious vessel.
That's it. We got anti-flame at home. It's fine.
Ooh,
We do not have anti-flame at home.
Yeah, we do.
You're
What
not
do we
killing
have?
my dragon. I just
No,
found
not
her.
killing muzzle. It's easy.
We also have a giant dragon that wants to kill us that has breathe
It-
fire on the ship.
There you go.
This would be
It-
very
Oh,
prudent to have.
That's
You
anti-lava. I don't
can't
know.
muzzle Thoraxes.
I don't know if that's gonna be Thoraxes proof. Like it might be baby proof.
you can muzzle Thoraxes.
Whatever this
Just need
is,
the right
you're gonna
spell.
need whatever this stuff is. You're gonna need to buy gallons and gallons of it, crates worth, and you're gonna have to. It's probably gonna take weeks for your Spartans and you all to to do the the paint job or the.
What do you mean? We'll
coding
just
of
get
the
more
ship.
volunteers.
Yeah,
At least
you
we
could do
can
that. You
hit
have
like the
10,000
vital areas. But no, we
Yes.
should keep
Well,
this a minimal operation so that we're not like, by the way, we have a dragon. We're protecting against dragon.
We're gonna have a fan meet day. Everybody just paint a section of the ship and you get an autograph.
So we should
Isn't
start painting in
I
whatever
hate
room
how
Kai
good
is
that
staying
is.
in.
Yes. Yes. Make it Kai centric.
You mean in Fitz room?
Yes. Yes.
But
In my
if
room.
Pony is shooting flame. You just say it has really bad indigestion. It's fine.
Yeah.
If Pony shoots a flame, Pony's getting.
You guys,
cursed.
you guys have assessed that, depending on how much the stuff costs with the labor and everything, this would at least cost you 13 to 2,000 gold to get that.
I have the
And then you have
permission
to-
of the group to spend group funds.
You say 13 to 2,000?
1,300 to 2,000 gold is what I meant to say. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because you said
I know.
13,200. We was gonna go ahead and have to
1,300 to 2,000.
go with fire
just gonna
retardant
kill
at
the
home.
And so
people.
that's the cost, but then you also have to take the labor, which would be time. So you might have to camp out, in Meletis for a couple weeks while it gets done.
Sounds like it's gonna take a little while to talk to these 12 anyway.
Get things resolved over here.
Yeah, I mean that work could be being done in the background, but I'm just saying, that's what we're looking at.
Man, how many of these matches are Tuaroxes, Apple, and Moby gonna have to do in order to pay for this?
We have
Can you do
10,000
it?
gold.
You guys
Can
remember?
you do a short contract
So
with them?
Apple, you guys still have the 10,000 gold from the original Thoraxes horde. So at this point, the rest of the horde is burned as in the eruption, and it's been lost. So you always have the last remnants of Thoraxes horde on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost the opportunity
Go
to
ahead.
kill Time Drinker
I
for
don't
his
give a shit.
horde.
Yes.
We can always go back.
He seemed like
Talmoon
he
is
was ready to
at all
die.
times.
Yeah, he really did.
And you also are welcome to look at. You also welcome to look at both the clickable links on the map as well as the I forget what you call that, the all the stuff that's listed in the city. If there's anything else you want to do right now, but other than that, yeah.
There's tieflings.
So who's doing the basic shopping for the group?
My groceries.
And when is that
Proximos.
happening?
I'm gonna treat basic shopping as if it's general stuff, you can just look in the player's handbook and purchase it. Anything. That you
What
need.
about like?
Well, whoever goes out, Sophia has a request.
Okay. Unless you're looking for
Lord.
something magical, essentially, that's the only time.
No. She's just wanting whoever's going to shopping and buying shit to get a journal, good size, sketching journal, about 11 by 14 maybe.
Okay.
Oh, DM, you know how we borrowed the
gold.
travel forge?
So you would find that, and it would be 1 gold, Jason. Oh, sorry,
You know how we
told me?
borrowed the travel forge when we needed to forge the stupid bowl thing?
Yeah.
Do we have one of those on the ship?
To forge new weapons.
Just something small, like not necessarily weapons, but
Like
something like
a-
a bowl, something easy, like
More
not.
like an anvil and
Yeah.
hammer and stuff
Uh-huh.
like a little kit. Yeah, I think you have that.
Okay.
And then what about the actual venue? Is that something like we can check out if we're supposed to
you
be
can go
like
ahead of time? Yeah, that could be a way to.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
scout it out and
Which-
see what
Yeah, Talmon's not on Team
position
Scout.
ourselves?
Yeah.
Um,
If we're shopping, we should probably, those of us who don't have clothes that are inconspicuous, should
Mm.
probably get something.
Everyone's
Hoods,
clothes
something
are
like that.
you ain't hiding me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. Tomun, Tuaroxes aren't going to be able to hide.
I
Mhm.
bet the people who I commissioned in this city to do badges for us probably have a line of cloaks, and we could go just get a size range from them so that we always have cloaks on hand.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will have a request then. In honor of my uncle, my cloak better be as ostentatious and glitter filled as possible.
All right, Ric
I
Flair.
love
When
it.
you say cloak, you mean the Duduntadunts? Because that's what he was in.
Oh, he's wanting that Ric Flair bullshit.
What if I get you one that's reversible, so it's fabulous and
Bullies on one
bedazzled on the
side?
one side, and then it's inconspicuous on the other side? Because sometimes we might need to be inconspicuous.
Cool, but it needs tassels.
Okay.
Fringe.
Tassels for the win.
Inconspicuous tassels. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
What time of day is it, Malcolm?
Right now, it's
In
about
Meletis right now?
if there was a sun, it would be setting. But what you do see happening is that great light that Afar is holding up, that torch that's making it feel like it's sunlight. For a moment, you start to realize it's slowly dimming. And so the atmosphere of the Nyx is starting to slowly creep in as though the sun is setting. And eventually at some point it will be so dim that it would almost look like a lamp at night, a great lamp, and it will feel like it never feels like night, but it feels like twilight.
Talmoon, are you busy?
Someone probably would have just been going through like real slow balance exercises using 2 swords instead of 1 because he needs to relearn how to fight.
I would like it if you have time to accompany me.
Where are we going?
Someplace that you will find familiar.
Sus. But Talmoon trusts them too. It's fine.
I love Malcolm. He's like, I got to mute. So Sophia is going to lead Talmoon over to the Perforos Temple.
I'm looking for it, trying to find it. Oh yeah,
Top left.
Yep.
Not very far from the boat.
As you walk through the streets, you find it. It's this like grand pavilion. It's pointed at the top, and it is entirely, and all of its pillars are kind of painted in a gaudy red and gold. And inside there is inside the foyer, you see a few people coming by and taking a look. There's no one in there necessarily praying, but inside there are a couple of skylights, and where even though there's no sun there, that light is beginning to dim. Just a little bit of the light is beginning to fade. You can see it like slightly cast on a grand statue of Perforos as he's like holding his hammer back to hit it, like as to strike it, as if to creating something. And then the altar is essentially be like the forget what you call it, like the slab that he would be actually be bringing that hammer down. That is the altar there, but there's no weapon on it or anything that he would actually be hitting. So
the altar is a giant anvil?
A giant anvil. Yes, that is what.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Can you tell me about your god? I know very little. I just know he likes to make things.
Creation, art. That's definitely all part of his purview. From what I understood, there was always the drive to make something more, to make something better. So in that, there are times where you need to clear out what is old to make room for the new, but it's a cycle with the focus on creation and beauty and art.
Cycle. Very much like life and death itself. How do you feel ever since our conflict with the one I will not name, since apparently no one likes him?
Fine. He's dead and gone. We fulfilled our duty.
But with that, part of you was lost as well.
Someone will just probably look down at Sophia's hooves and nod slowly.
Well, what if I told you it wasn't gone?
With that, his head would snap back up.
See, a lot of people use the gods as an excuse to do something or to live a certain way. But very much like farmers, smiths, tailors, thatchers, even politicians. We all have a role to play. So do the gods. You worshipped someone that created things. If he was truly dead, there would be no one creating anything anymore.
So you're saying he's still out there?
Yes. He's in everyone that makes something. If I were to lose THEROS, and I've been following him since I was born, I would not stop performing funeral rites. I would still go through the motions of guiding the fallen to the river so he could take them to where they need to be. It's my way of keeping him alive. And as terrible it is that I don't get to speak to him as often as I once did, I know he's still there. Performing the funeral rites for the fallen satyr that we found at the Vale keeps me by his side. If I were you, I would try my hardest to keep Perfros by my side. That is why I asked the others to get a journal so you can think of ideas to create and then implement that.
You want
It
me to
does not
start a
have to be
diary?
big. No. Have you never seen how blacksmiths work?
Is the priest?
Normal blacksmiths here in the city take a piece of hide, cut it out to size and shape of what they want to create, and then they form whatever they want to the shape. Everything comes from an idea. That's why Kernanos and Perfros are an amazing combination at creating things. One sparks the idea while the other implements it.
You've given me something to think about, at the very least.
And that gift I still owe you. I would have done it earlier, but unfortunately the battle for Kai has left me unable to. And I would like to apologize for that. But I promise, you will get your emblem back once I deliver my gift.
I trust you.
When the others come back, just ask for the journal that I asked for. It's yours. And start thinking of ideas of something to create. As small as a metal flower, or as big as a temple. I will leave you here to think. I have to make my own pilgrimage to my temple.
Yeah. Talmud was
and
probably,
Sophia will.
Yeah.
And as Telmo's standing there and Sophia leaves, walks away. There's just like this kind of a shot or a memory in Telmoon's mind of however he felt, because the memories are more about less than what you see, but how you felt standing in the presence of your God, kind of slumped over and like kind of bleeding out, but handing over his weapon, his power to you to go finish the job against Heliod. And as you linger in that moment, you hear your blade say, Sophia, she is quite wise.
we keep Perforos alive.
I think that's what she's suggesting. And in a way, I see it. And I don't even have a pair of eyes.
No one keeps Heliod alive, right?
I don't know. Based on what Sophia is saying, then there's always a chance that we all keep those we have faith in alive. Phoenix is gone, but have people stopped deceiving each other? Have
It's advantage at it.
Yeah, they might be bad at it, but they're still trying to do it. They're still carrying on. What do I know? I am just a blade. Something to think about, as you say. Echoing your thoughts.
And you'd probably just set both blades on the altar and hang out for a bit until it gets kicked out and go back at night.
And the temples are always open, so someone's able to sit there as long as he wants to. And unless he's looking for a question to be answered internally, otherwise it's just a chance to meditate. And if he's done sharing, then we kind of move on and pick up somewhere else. You all are kind of free flowing here as you have an opportunity to kind of wield the narrative of where the group is and what they do.
I would like to say that as Telmoon's coming back from the long praying at the temple, that back at the ship, the kitchen is abuzz. The smell of all these fragrance kind of leaking out from the door, and big plate of roasted beef and a whole entree of assorted vegetables and fruits that line the table. Finally, a proper feast. It's been a while since been able to catch a breath a moment. Be able to see you guys. And kind of looking back, and the freaky just abyss of like those dark like the dark pits, but you see a weird like yellow yellow diamond in there. Yes. But I'm glad that we're all still kicking, still moving. Kind of looking at the rest of you. So
they all
what we
gather to
say-
break bread during their evening dinner.
kind of like toast, kind of like in the middle, ready to toast. to a better future from here.
I imagine all the hoplites are around as well and welcome to this feast. I'm sure if it was Telmoon's choice, they'd be eating below decks or outside the ship. But are they welcome to the same feast, or is it just you all in like a small maybe like a captain's quarters or something like that?
I imagine that I prepared enough for the feast for the whole group.
It's like on the top deck amongst the stars, like in there in the harbor kind of deal.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone seems very cheery and happy.
And Moby, I have to congratulate you on your excellent leadership of the men here.
And you see kind of Moby, just kind of before you tell him that he's with the hoplites, just like describing, the movements in the ring and like flapping his kind of his sweaty wing, just having good laughs. And as he's kind of walking past you, you approach me. No, thank you. It's nice to be with others that I feel safe. I thank you for letting me be part of your group.
Apo slaps him in the back and goes, "I'll use you as a club again soon, hopefully."
And he just, just like lifts your arm up, like, yeah! It just, I don't know, kind of randomly, and just in kind of a moment of just excitement and joy, just happiness.
I understand you have some kind of possibly a contract deal going. Sounds like you'll be staying with us.
Absolutely. Signed up, ready.
I mean, you were the star of the ring. You could probably make a good penny there.
Did Moby sign a contract with Vince to come back and do shows? You can say yes or no. You can say you're still thinking about it. You don't have to give me on the. But there was, because Persis is asking. She said she heard it, but I don't know if we ever said you signed on the dotted line. That kind of deal.
We didn't. Moby's a little non-committal, but he's I don't know, maybe.
A respectable decision then, keeping your options open. Well, we may be sailing fairly soon also. We'll have to see what happens in the next day.
Indeed.
Apo.
Proxinos, you're awake.
Yes. For now. How do you like the meat?
A little burned for my taste, but it's palatable.
You would also be able to tell that there is some special Oresco seasoning, some of that earthy flavor.
Oh, you put the dirt in there. He's like licking his chops, right? His tongue is just like all over the place.
I've been meaning to use that spice.
Better sooner than later.
Did you ever wonder what you might be doing after our adventure ends? You seem great in the arena.
I think that when this is done, I would just like to return to the Pride Lands.
think that's great. I'm sure a lot of your people would welcome you back with great roar.
If any of the tribe exists.
I'm sure they exist. Take a little bit more than the world ending to bring them to extinction.
It's too late to get too philosophical, Proximus.
I've been getting a lot more philosophical lately. Questioning things.
DM, does Apo notice anything different about the eyes that Proximus has? Or did they just return and they're
So,
his normal?
so I'll iterate what Nick shared with me is because I kind of described them originally as returning to full and having a yellow texture, but we've kind of retconned that a bit based on what Nick was sharing. He thinks they look like, and so essentially they're not fully eyes. Like they're just still the pits, but you see the twinkle. The way I imagine that is the way most undead look, where they just have you have a skeleton and it just has like a twinkle of light, like undead. I think that's what is that like it's that diamond. It's a diamond twinkle of light
idea,
inside those pits. That's very unsettling. So I wonder if you're still wearing that bandana.
I'm sure that I haven't been like,
but
yeah.
No, I'm joking. That's halfway joking. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if he's
If
walking
I
around the
turn
city
undead,
like that,
do you become blind?
he's terrifying. If he's walking through the city just like just with those eyes.
Because that's what I was thinking. Like if Apo would react to his feature, like those eyes, differently, because it's something that he's never seen before. So he's kind of like, I mean, he's a big ass cat, right? So it's kind of like, that's. But yeah, I mean, I kind of imagine them like Morpheus from the Sandman, just all black with almost like the stars in them. So, okay.
Something wrong? Yeah. The sight is weird, isn't it?
A bit. But it isn't any different than, and then he pulls up his claw and it turns it to metal really quickly and then back like.
We all have our peculiarities.
True. Very true.
I'm sorry, I joined in very late in your all's adventure, but you killed a god, so really none of this is out of the strange. It's going to be kind of hard to top that one.
I'm sure we'll find a way.
There's always death.
No, he's just being an asshole right now.
Fighting gods is normal. Whatever's happening with his eyes, not normal.
Do we know what it might have been caused by? Any inklings? How do you feel, Proximus?
Good question. How do I feel? Do I feel just fine, normal?
You feel as normal as Proxinos probably ever feels. The fact that he sleeps and always dream crosses with the dead, always feels somewhat alive, always feels somewhere like one. Proxinos is that person that's probably like always 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the other realm. So, in that regard, though, you've had no whisperings, you've had no weird inclinations of a curse over you. You've seen no visions of Theraxes in your dream. You feel as normal as you would.
A slight. There's a slight chuckle from Proxinos when you mention that versus. I never really understood that feeling. Always wrestling with some curse, something always on me, always dragging me down. Never been in one place for too long, be it in the land of the living or the land of the dead. As it stands right now, this is probably the most alive I've felt in a while. And most close to center.
And to bring it to an earlier subject of conversation, you feel the farthest from your father you ever have been.
Father and also Erebos.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. But yes, that's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm sure your feelings about your father are complicated. Being twisted together with Theraxes.
And again, I come back to philosophy. Getting philosophical. What is right and what is wrong? We saved the world from Helia destroying this, and everything broke apart. What do you think it will take to bring things back together?
Difficult to say. And, well, do things need to be back the same as they were? Can they be different as long as they are good? Certainly we need to keep Akros from being swallowed.
And the rising threat and power that is Theraxes.
And let us not forget the Murder King. We have
Right.
many things on our plate.
Right.
Seems almost a shame to wait a day until being at the Agora. But we have repairs to undergo as well.
That is quite true. I'm also think about that powerful construct that is just floating in the boundless space of Nyx.
Indeed. And it would be a shame if someone else got to it first.
Very much so.
We could throw Moby at it.
I think we will run into the problem we discussed when we first found him. How long he could breathe while he was floating through space. Better that we all go.
Yes.
I know that we all have paths to walk and take, and some of them are unified and others are split. But we are very close, probably the closest we'll ever be to mine.
Oh.
The dragon told me of 2 locations of my god's coin, and we're close to one.
What is the one?
Athreos is in search of coins, special ones, and upon returning, he will grant you anything that your heart desires. He told me that one of them is near Meletis, and the other is where a god died or disappeared. I'm not entirely sure. Or if
Do you
God, what the
mean
fuck's his name?
Phoenix?
Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, that is what he said. I don't know where that could possibly be, but I know we're close to one.
He could probably point you in the right direction. We were sort of there when Phoenix threw themselves into the star.
Yes.
But could any of us retrieve the coin safely? If it's at the center of that maelstrom, it may be lost.
What's the fun in it being safe?
Oh. Nothing here is safe.
There will always be a measure of risk in whatever we end up doing. I've kind of resigned myself to believing that.
Any more particulars on the coin that is near Meletis?
He did not say much. He just told me of 2 locations. I was surprised that he knew of them.
They must be very hard to acquire if you can get a wish granted. Where would such an item be located? Kind of looking out into like we kind of are just in that twilight around Meletis.
And so, as they continue to have these conversations and that are heartfelt and that inspire where they will go next and why they will go there. Stop me if there's something else you want to share, but I imagine the night passes on. Um, you all get some sleep. Proxenos wakes like almost out of a deep sleep to a sudden like shudder, like like almost as though having a nightmare, but cannot remember what and why he was so abruptly woken in that way. And often when Proxino sleeps in that manner, it feels a lot deeper than a dream. Is they break as they awake to a kind of a bright day. What I will ask is, do they can clearly take that entire day and condense it to doing some planning, some preparing for the night, and then just going to the theater, or they can spend more time. But even if they do that, what is their approach for the evening? Are they just going with their tickets? Xenophia has shown, she did show up later that evening, the first night. She did give you all your passes, front row seats. But is front row where they want to be, right? Have they thought this through? Are they just going to the show and looking for anything out of the ordinary and then trying to get an audience with Theodetis after? What's their approach?
Yeah, what's exactly our plan? Like, I heard some of us are going backstage without weapons. Why?
So you guys don't want to be near the guy we need to protect?
No, I'm just trying. I wasn't there for that conversation, so I just wanted you to like clue me in on what I'm supposed to do weaponless backstage.
So far, they were told no weapons in the theater, in the amphitheater. So, like, if you were to use your tickets to just go in, yeah, they would ask you not to bring, or you would be turned away with weapons at the door.
To be fair, Lady Fitz, your tongue is quite a weapon.
Thank you.
We don't know much about the enemy, just that they're members of the council in places of high power, and they'll be sending possibly powerful assassins.
So we go backstage and we make sure no one gets assassinated.
Exactly.
Xenophia, when she showed up that night and she handed over the tickets, she did learn a little bit more information, and she does let you know that as of right now, most likely Theodetis will be arriving to the meet with, usually with a group of philosophers that he's recently been seen with. They are interesting. They are not from one philosophical group, as it seems that Theodetis has started to he started as a Eurymedian, and he is recently become a little bit more Niclean in nature. What that means to you all, whether you're from Meletis or not, is that the Eurymedian is a school that emphasizes logical reasoning, rhetorical excellence, and theories on ethics and virtue. So Eurymedians are often going to be eminently practical as like governors. They seek balance and ethical ideals, but also for example, with his conversations around violence, this leads more to a way of thinking that is more Niclean, and the Niclean philosophers teach that reason or destiny underlies all of reality, so that everything that takes place must unfold just as it does. So for Nicleans, would probably be very much under the reasoning of the Lady of Destiny, Fate, Clothis, of that god. These are philosophers that train themselves to accept and to endure whatever befalls them, enjoying good fortune but not grieving their loss. So someone who's a Niclean probably sees whatever's happened to Theros was meant to happen to Theros, and there's nothing you can do about it. So say all that lore dump, but so that you know who those are, he's been seen with a group that is a mixture of the Eurymedian and the Niclean philosophers. He is set to arrive at the amphitheater around 5. He goes on stage at 7. You can get standard tickets and walk through the front door as normal, but there will be at least two Meletian guards at the back door, or the back way, but he keeps no guards in and around him, where other prominent people would probably keep guards throughout the dressing room and the back areas of the structure. There will be guards throughout the amphitheater on the other side where people are observing the show. After the show, he is known to then go to the area that is known as the he'll probably be heading back to the Hall of the 12, which is where many of the Hall of the 12 stay, where those philosophers who are with him will depart, as they are not of higher rank and cannot therefore stay there. So that helps with your plans.
Does she know of any newcomers in the past couple of days to his group?
Unfortunately, she feels that, she didn't get really, you get the feeling like she didn't really get sidelined, but she feels like because of her persistence on guarding him, it was a flaw to Theodetus, and therefore she had to take a back seat. And so because she's still his student, she has not been able to be around him because of she needs to meditate, she needs to work on, she needs to study in this area. And so she doesn't know. It's almost like this new group, she might even be a little jealous about this new group, right? He's running with different people now. She was with him when he was on the street, right? Standing on the street corner like the cultists. So she doesn't really know that.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys think, but I'm assuming
Maybe
those of us that can operate without
original?
weapons. Well, maybe not the originals, because he knows me.
But if you walk in with no weapons, maybe you might turn a leaf.
The fuck are you saying, huh? You want me to start
You
believing
can
in
lie
his
to
no
him,
violence
I know.
bullshit?
Oh, like the bullies don't lie.
Yeah.
I'm no good without my weapons.
Put them in the bag that Fitz carries.
And then
She'll be accompanying you.
The people that are sitting in the front seat.
Yeah,
probably
we've
need the
clearly
bag.
found a fix around all of our weapons.
Unless we're all going to go backstage and just pretend that we're all philosophers the whole night and just be backstage. But if we're all backstage, I don't know.
I'll just stay within the crowd.
I could be on the outside or in the crowd as well, if you want.
So you think the people who are comfortable without weapons should be the ones in the crowd, and the ones that need weapons should be the ones that try to mix with the philosophers for 2 hours and then go backstage?
The
Again,
philosopher
you're
that's
all
like
good-
anti-fighting.
You're all good at lying.
But should we lie?
You want
To
me
save
to
a
tell the
life?
truth?
It's not lying. It's been
No,
the
don't
truth.
tell the truth.
So you want me to lie?
Could you
No.
not say anything?
I don't
Just
think
an
they would,
option.
I don't know if they would keep me around if I'm not adding to the discourse.
Just act like you're a mute.
I could cast silence.
Like, they are not going to accept guards. The only way they'll accept us is as guests who are willing to talk. I'm assuming.
Then plea a case why violence is good.
It's plausible. As Bronze Bullies, you're prominent people. Obviously, you support violence in the cause of the greater good.
I like that idea, actually.
It's. Do you have flags on you?
I dig into my pockets and just pull out a fistfuls of flags. I'm like, oh, I always have flags.
Excellent. Then what we do is we find the guards, we explain who we are, show them our amazing badges, and tell them these flags can be used at any of the shows to get them in. But they only get them if we're allowed in those areas.
What do y'all
Well,
think?
I am liking this idea. I think the plan's coming together.
We don't even have to lie necessarily. It could be the partial truth.
What do
That's a
you
plausible
think?
story.
What would we have to lie about? That we're there
Well,
to
the
protect
truth is
them?
that we're there to protect them.
Yes. We don't have to say the main reason that we're going. But we
But
can
get
certainly
mine
say that
versus...
I mean, oh my god, it's a friend of ours. We wanted to see them. We're like cool people in town. We figured we'd sneak backstage and see them before their performance.
we haven't been secret about wanting to talk to him.
And which group is doing that?
I could go.
And?
Maybe I should go in the back as well.
Is your friend going to be another squirrel for this?
You know, I figured I could talk to her and ask what she wanted, if she was okay with staying on the ship and being extra good, or if she wanted to be a squirrel with us.
Oh, she's getting
If-
tied up at home.
If she gets hurt,
I know,
As a
I don't want her
squirrel.
to get hurt.
This show may
And
last
she
longer
poof
than an
turns
hour.
right into a dragon, right?
it would not be good for the crowd and not good for Kai's health.
No, especially if we're trying to teach her that she's good, and then people start screaming and they're all afraid of her. That would be bad.
Fitz, Bartholomew's like, I apologize for cutting in. We can take care of Kai. I think she'll-
Bartholomew, you are so loyal and so kind and so wonderful. Kai is my very best friend. If anything horrible happens to her on your watch, I hope you know I'm cutting each of your fingers off one by one.
You can certainly try. But
Good.
No, she will.
Also, remember zero tolerance policy.
I will talk to her before we go. I will
also,
make sure
can
she
you
understands.
remind Telmoon that, again, we work for you under the command of our queen. And if he calls me slave again, we will commit mutiny.
You can try.
We, as Akrons, you must understand, you are the Bronze Bullies. This is not a threat, but we will die for what we honor.
Yeah.
We have
Telmoon's
no-
really sassy. I'm really sorry. He
You
just
will die for
We're
what you
not.
honor,
We're not
yes.
worried about. To be honest with you, we want to be fair here. We're not really worried about us going into the great dark. We all slip into that great darkness at some point, and for us, we'd rather go fighting. But we'd rather stay here and fight for our land with you all. It's just between. I'm just saying. Just he should watch it.
Exactly. We will need your
Well,
strength in the days to come.
For the record, you won't be going anywhere.
Oh, I believe.
I will talk to Kai and make sure she's very nice for you, and it would be fabulous if you would just hang out with her. She likes little chin scratches, like right over here.
I made some extra treats just to keep her.
Bartholomew will need to make a animal handling check on Fitz's behalf, but at advantage.
I
was
hope
going to-
Bartholomew has a hell of a wisdom score.
I can use a spell slot to cast universal speech again, so that 4 creatures I choose can understand each other for an hour.
Okay, so that will help. So that gives the advantage, and then I'll add. So he has a +1 wisdom, so we'll give him a plus.
Wow.
Give him a +3.
You better not have.
That's only like +2. Oh wow.
Woohoo!
It's an advantage
Okay.
roll.
Bartholomew's
It's an advantage
Bartholomew's
roll.
about to have his hands ate.
What's
Keep in
I
mind-
believe
Keep
in
in mind,
Bartholomew.
don't stick out your
Bartholomew's-
hand
What's the
with the treat
Rimling-
in there.
What's the Rimling's? Let's see, pull it out real here.
Yeah, Bartholomew's chosen a short future, regardless. So
Yeah.
that's on
I have-
Bartholomew.
I have the stats up if you need anything.
Yeah, what's the charisma on the?
Apple's
Uh,
going
Welcome to
over
speak
to
for
Kai.
Kai?
For Kai.
Don't take
Charisma's 15, a +2.
+2. Okay, so I'm gonna roll
Unless
for
you're
Kai.
talking about saving throws. That's
No, it's
just
not a
the
saving throw. I'm just
standard.
gonna roll it, and so I'm rolling for Kai. So Kai +2. So Bartholomew gets a +3 and gets advantage. So
Okay.
I rolled
This is
2
good.
11s.
all right. So I put you at 14. That puts you at higher than my 12. So
Hey!
I think what it looks like is
Bartholomew, good job.
it kind of looks like not that he's doing anything great, but that it's like kind of that Passover, like Mama's leaving and being like, "Hey, he's gonna watch you," and Kai's kind of like, but then also looking like, "Okay, I'm not supposed to
You
burn
be
stuff
good.
down," so like, not
And
like
trust
liking
me,
him, but
everyone's
being
gonna
like,
be really
whatever.
mad if we come back and any part of it's singed. I'm gonna have to stop them from hurting you. They really don't want anything to happen to the ship. So just be on your best behavior. I'll be back so soon. I love you so much.
And, she kind of walks over and curls up like like how dogs kind of walk around a couple times before they plop down. She folds her wings in, slams down, kind of just huffs, kind of like just kind of huffing a bit, but
Oh,
being
Bartholomew, I'm
obedient.
so proud of you for watching after her.
She'll be fine.
She just melts my heart.
Um,
Okay.
and so as they're planning to, we'll actually fast forward in, if you all are willing to. It's around that witching hour. It's like right around, not witching hour, but it's right around that it's about 4 in the afternoon. So 5 is when he should be arriving. What did I've heard this plan about
Yeah,
maybe
I,
going
don't,
and talking
I
to
haven't
the
heard
guards.
this plan. So what was the plan?
Yeah,
We're
go.
talking
We
to
did
the
not
guards.
solidify a plan.
Some people are going to the. We don't know which one. That sounds like
Yeah, there's a lot
Nick
of
said
plans.
he's
so you
going
guys
both
figure out the
places.
plans. You guys let's
Mhm.
solidify a plan.
I think it makes more sense for Proximus going to the back because he has ways to detect if there's anything like poisons and stuff like that that are around the
the
area.
thing is, if we split up, then the pure melee people need to be the ones with the bag of holding. If we don't split up, it's not a problem.
Yeah, totally. I'll give you the bag of holding if we split up so that you can actually defend yourselves. Because we put all your weapons in there.
I'm also useless
have-
because somebody
have the
stole
flag.
my
Have the flags in
holy
front of the
symbol.
weapon.
Someone stole what?
My
I
holy
didn't
symbol.
steal shit. You gave it away.
So I can't cast even without my. I have to have my rapiers to cast because somebody stole my holy symbol.
Well, that's probably good
You
for
can
you.
ask
you could
for it
bond with
back.
them.
I prefer
Any
my
damn
rapiers
time.
for my rapiers.
Hmm.
So I'm going with the melee people. Where are the melee
Yes.
people
And so
going?
where
Are they
the
going
melee,
to?
where are the melee people?
Are they going with the philosophers? Or are they going with the crowd?
I thought you
Sophia's
guys were
going with the
sitting...
crowd.
Sophia's going with the crowd.
No.
So
To
where
be
are
honest, I
Apo,
was thinking-
Tuaroxes, and Telmoon and Moby going? Those 4.
To be fair, Moby could probably go anywhere he wants. He just would probably have to stealth hide a dagger or some shit. Just put in
There's
one of
a
your
high
damn
ground.
flaps.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because no one wants to go in there and check.
There's
so,
crevices.
yeah, that makes
We'll
sense.
be fine.
Yeah, make sure the flaps are sweaty and you'll be good.
Yeah, super
Ew.
wet. Yo,
Ew.
yeah, I know. As soon as I came out of my mouth.
Texture.
So Moby's anywhere. So Apo, Tuaroxes, and Telmoon are the ones that need to be near weapons. Where are the 3 of them going?
Where is the bag of holding going?
With
That's
us.
what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, who wants to hold the bag?
Telmoon hold it. He's the fastest of those 3.
You better give it back. You got that?
All right, so Sophia's going to the crowd. Who's going to the guards? Who's got the bag of holding?
Talmud.
Telmoon.
Telmo.
Yeah.
Halmoon, as long as he promises to give it back.
We need Fitz going in the back because she needs to convince the guards.
Yeah.
To me, what makes sense, because I think we talked about having a shadow team and then a team that's blatantly out there. So Telmoon and Tuaroxes are going to be hard to hide. You have to go with the bag. Fitz is going to go in and talk up our philosophy of violence. So I think it makes sense for them to go together and then to have the rest of us hang out in the crowd. I guess Apodexis has to go with them. But like Sophia, Moby, Persis.
So Apple and Tuaroxes are going
crowd?
with Fitz
And
Yeah.
Tillman.
and Tillman.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm getting, because I could easily get things wrong. Because as you see how you see what I
Tillman will
did
give this
between
bag a
Moby
holding back.
going into the wrestling match.
I'll
and-
still give it to you because that way, if you need weapons, you have them. I can deal with my magic.
So this means Telmoon, Fitz, Apple, and Tuaroxes go as a shadow team to go talk up and kind of like play like they're philosophers, and then Sophia,
Team philosopher.
team philosopher, and then Moby, Sophia, and who am I missing?
Persis.
Persis.
Go
And Proxenos?
and Proxy.
I thought Proxenos was going in the back because he can detect poisons
Yeah.
and shit.
Same.
Prox-
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
which
Yeah.
adult? So that's the adult that you're sending with us, Proxenos.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
He'll-
it's
he'll just put
literally
us to sleep.
90% of the Bronze Bullies minus
Yeah,
Apo.
it
That's it.
is the team that went to go. The team that originally was supposed to go and kill the cultists. That's
Yep.
the team you're sending negotiate with the philosophers.
Yeah.
Well, it's very convincing. You're
It
gonna
makes
tell them
perfect
about
sense.
how violence solves
Yeah.
problems.
So that means they're not going with they're not going with any
So I was
disguises.
right.
They're just going as the Bronze Bullies to talk to
I mean-
Theodetus.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
That was my
Yeah,
plan,
we're up.
was just to
And we're hoping we
schmooze
don't get
my way
thrown out.
backstage.
In the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
We can simplify this very easily. Team Philosopher or Team TP will wipe any mess that has to come from the back if it happens.
Yep. Okay. I think I have it
Yeah.
as long as you guys are locked on that. Kai staying on board the ship, all the hoplites. The group sets off into the city. Sophia, Moby, Persis are showing up at the ticket booth. And instead of being Bronze Bullies, instead of waiting to be let in, you guys are led to your front row seats where you're just kind of sitting there. And it's an open air theater, right? It's an amphitheater, right? And so it's got that kind of dome shape, no ceiling, the star, the Nyx above you, that kind of twilight setting, the fresh air kind of blowing through. People slowly filing in behind you, finding their seats, coming in with their little baskets of food and bottles of wine, ready to hear Theodetus speak. While the rest of you kind of round through a little alley on the back side of the building. And there, under this little, the building in the back is shaped in a way where there's 3 arches, and under those arches is a door, right? Kind of like an overhang, like the building comes out, and then there's 3 arches, and then there's a door right in the center. And so you guys walk up, and you can see that there are 2 guards standing there, kind of smoking a rolled cigarette. And then as they see you approaching, they kind of throw and put it out, as they're clearly in Meletis, not supposed to be doing it on duty. One of them positions his helmet and kind of stands clear and goes, sorry, the front, if you're looking for the entrance to the amphitheater, it's around the other direction.
Oh, we know. We have front row seats, but we're actually really, really good
The other guy
friends
goes
with
like this.
Theodetus.
Bro. Oh.
Mm.
Bullies.
Ooh.
Nice. Thank you. But entrance, I'm sure you have front row seats is around to the front.
Totally, absolutely. But we are really good friends with Theodetus, and we are fresh in town. We are visiting, and we wanted to drop in and say hello. And I know he would want to talk to us.
Yeah, they're probably clearly friends with Theodetus. And the
We
one is being a
totally
stickler. He's like,
saved his butt last
Listen.
time we were in town.
I'm not trying to be that guy. We
I
have to
get
take care
it.
of our jobs, and we just know you guys. There's Theodetus only comes with philosophers.
I totally
and
get it.
So his group, it's not even a list. It's not even like that. We just know
Mm.
that you're not really supposed to be back here. So we're
Okay, and
politely
what's your
declining.
name?
it's.
I just want to make sure I let Theodetus know, who didn't let us
Sh-
come see him, because I know he wants to see us.
Well-
But that's fine.
Well, if
What
you
is
put
it?
it like that, I don't think that's maybe I shouldn't share my name. But I'm just doing my job. I think you want to talk to Fedus. He'll be here any moment. Maybe you could talk to him outside instead of us needing to let you in and all that.
Uh-huh.
You want to give me a
No, I think you'll let
check?
us in.
I think you'll let us. Oh shit, that's great.
A 24.
Okay. He is so
We're pretty
you're
cool.
very popular and you all are, but us doing this, it's a good chance you're gonna get me fired.
I mean, if you told me your name, I would make sure that they weren't gonna fire you in particular. But I can't really help you if I don't know who you are,
Also,
Jericho.
Jericho.
good name. Jericho.
Yeah.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Jericho, would you
looking as he feels the Leyland breathing down on him?
Oh, he's
Jericho,
scary.
would
Be
you
careful.
like to be known as Jericho the Handless?
He just opens the door.
He's not kidding. He's
Right.
totally taken someone's hands before. Thank you, Jericho. I'll make sure we put in a good word for you.
Apo pats him on the back. Good choice, Jericho.
As you get inside this little foyer, this little room, you notice that it's a quaint little small stone room, and there's a couple of sconces on the wall that are lit, and there's an area in the table where there's like food, kind of like all ready for Theodetus and his group. Like there's food and wine that hasn't been touched. You guys are there before them, and then there are stairs. There's stairs leading up to another part of the room that you can tell that where you're at, it leads up to another level, which unless you go up there. But this is kind of like the back room. This is like backstage. But it doesn't go out. It leads upwards. So you have to go up to go to where the stage is.
Before we do anything, as we enter, Proximo sees the entree and all the food that's laid out there and the wine. He's going to cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Yeah. And as he does this, he finds that there is he gets no remnants, no poison, and no disease in any of the food. It is quite the freshest that it could possibly be.
Oh, good, because Apo had all 5 of his claws, with olives. He was all
the food isn't poison. I don't detect any near us.
Cool. Then he sticks the whole paw in his mouth. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does seem pretty good.
So he's already eating the food. That's great. That's
very Bronze Bully behavior.
I love it. And so he's already, and as he's doing this, this door opens.
You're muted.
All right, I touched it. So that as you all are standing there, what ends up happening is that door opens up, and in walks Theodetus, the same as you remember him. He's kind of grown his hair out a bit, but the very dark-skinned, frail, very small-statured man with these others that are all around him. He comes in with a group that is about 8 to 9 people. They kind of fill this room. And they are the other philosophers are kind of shocked and kind of taken aback that there's a group here. And Theodetus is kind of looks and he goes, "You are familiar. I remember you."
That is. Hello, welcome. We are new. freshly in town,
And
and
a
you're
woman
one of the
steps in
first
front of him
guys
and
we
goes,
wanted to
"Excuse
see.
me, what? There was no one supposed to be here. Who are these people, and why?"
We're friends.
And they're
Please.
carrying blades and weapons.
We're not
Actually, we
carrying
put them
blades and
all in our
weapons.
bag.
Oh no,
They're
you're
Sir.
all
You're not.
they're
You're
all
not.
hidden.
I'll take that back.
Sir.
But they look intimidating. They look like they shouldn't. What was the guards? Who is on duty here? And he in Theodetus is like, no. It is okay. It is okay. I can talk to them. How did you get here?
We thought we would surprise you. Surprise!
A surprise it is. Are you looking for yet another debate to talk and reason?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
It has been a while, and much, as you can see, much has changed. But as the world seems to me, no the wiser in all that has happened. You are all welcome to stay here, but I must get prepared, as I am going on soon.
Oh, sure. Do you have flashcards or something you need us to drill you on anything?
Who can I get?
Warm you up with some counter arguments.
He looks like he goes, "I wish I could. We can do this afterwards, right?
Definitely.
Right after I get off stage. I will be happy to. We can walk over to the Hall of the 12 and sit on the steps or in the atrium there and continue this. You are welcome to. Well, you've clearly welcomed yourself to the food and the wine.
Sorry.
And you're kind of getting like some dirty looks from the other philosophers that are.
Everything happens for a reason, right?
A very wise Leonin in my country said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but rather he should fear never beginning to live."
I like that. And so as you all make yourself comfortable, you also realize that this second story, Theodetus kind of goes upstairs. There are two stories to the place to explore as the philosophers move throughout. And what goes up another story and then another, and then he has stairs here where he must ascend that leads out this way. So this is the back of this theater. But once he goes up here, this puts him on stage, right up at the top. So he kind of heads up in and out. Here is like kind of like a little balcony. Actually, I'm sorry. Leads him on stage this way. Am I getting this right? Yeah, no, stage out this way. And so this is this oversees when they look at people on this side can see where people are sitting on either sides of the auditorium, and this just leads out to the streets from which you came. So just kind of give you a setting of like where you're at. And so as he's setting up and you all are kind of standing there around, and some of the other philosophers are still eating and drinking. Kind of an insight check from whoever is probably like most proficient. I won't do insight checks all around, but maybe one of you.
Someone's got this.
I have a plus 10.
You have a plus 10 insight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then it should be Fitz then.
I mean, are you sure you don't want my -1?
You're welcome to try.
No, thank you.
Watch me roll like shit.
All right, I got a +1.
It's a high check, but Fitz should be able to do it.
High check.
What should be a very difficult check for someone else, this should be a medium check for you.
It's a dirty 20.
Okay. And so, as you're all sitting there, based on your role, what I can say is as you're eating, Apple's eating, Telmon's kind of like, and a couple of the people that are there, one of the philosophers seems to talk a lot. She's a very beautiful woman, very dark black hair, and she's a songstress, and she talks about her acting, and she talks about acting, and she seems to talk about that in the philosophical way and why artistry is so important. She seems to keep having a conversation with another guy who has like a lute who he plays, and then there's a couple of very kind of stoic fellows who seem to be Eurymedian and seem to be having like a back and forth, and then the others are just kind of moving around. So there's like a couple like almost like musicians and stuff here and as well that kind of stand out. But Fitz gets a real uneasy feeling about them. Like they feel like they don't have the same presence as Theodetis. They kind of feel like they orbit him, not like groupies, but almost in a sinister way. That's her feeling. And
Y'all, we got a whole bunch of energy vampires up here.
And so the show begins, and he goes out there to the crowd, and you hear this kind of applause for Theodetis as he walks out there, and he kind of seems and if you are actually, there are windows on the other side, so even from the room to where you're on if you're gonna go to the second floor, you can kind of, those of you in the back can still kind of see where he's standing, but you're like in the back. The rest of you outside, so Sophia and Persis can see as he enters the space, that magical spotlight hits him. You can see how influential that Theodetis has become. And then he speaks, and he says, my fellow Meletians, in my undying pursuit for knowledge, never did I foresee myself gaining such popularity, and neither did I find that this popularity brings me any closer to great wisdom. It has, however, come with many enemies. Yes, it began with my good friend Seraphon, who went to Altrisos and asked a great religious oracle who the wisest man in THEROS was. The oracle answered that that no man was wiser than Theodetis. And when I learned this, I asked myself, what can this oracle of the gods mean? For I had no wisdom. And after thinking it over for a long time, I decided that I had to find one wiser than myself, so I could go back to the gods' oracle with this evidence. And so I went to see a politician who was famous for his wisdom. But when I questioned him, I realized that he really was not wise, and although many people, he especially thought he was. So I tried to explain to him that although he thought himself wise, he really was not. But all that happened was that he came to hate me, and so did many of his supporters who overheard us. And so I left him, thinking to myself, as I left, although that neither of us really knew anything about what is noble and good, still I was better off. For he knows nothing, and he thinks he knows he knows, while I neither know nor think that I know. And in this, I think that I have a slight advantage. Then I went to another person who had even greater pretensions to wisdom. The result was exactly the same. I made another enemy, and in this way, I went to one after another and made more and more enemies. I felt bad about this, and it frightened me, but I was compelled to do it because I felt investigating the gods' oracle came first. I said to myself, I must go to everyone who seems to be wise, so I can find out what the oracle meant. And my hearers imagined that I myself possessed the wisdom which I find lacking in others. But the truth is, people of Meletis, that only the gods are wise, and by through an oracle, they wanted to show us that the wisdom of men is worth little or nothing. It is if he was telling us the wisest man is the one who, like Theodetus, knows that his wisdom is in truth worth nothing. The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. And if soon I journey to a world where only the dead live, then it will also be for a great good. For then I can continue my search in true and false knowledge in the next world. As in this one, I can continue questioning the great people of the past to find out who is wise and who is merely pretends to be. So do not be saddened by my death. No evil can happen to good man, either in this life or the next. Well, the hour of departure has arrived, and we must each go our ways. I to die, and you to live. Which is better? Only God knows. Thank you. And so after he finishes the speech and begins to descend back into the room below where you all are, the other philosophers around are kind of clutching their pearls. I'll give you a moment to just if there's any last shares of this session of where the characters are at as he is slowly descending those stairs. He has not gotten there yet, so you haven't had a chance to actually talk to him or share anything with him. He's just leaving the stage. Anything you all want to add?
We're definitely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we're definitely sitting on the stairs trying to separate the crazy other people from Theodetus, with our bodies.
Okay. So
Yeah.
all jockeying for position in this very cramped little room,
Yeah.
I imagine.
Sitting on the higher stairs so that we can block them from getting to him.
Okay.
Yeah. Appo's doing that pacing thing that you see lions do, and he's making that growling, that thick growl that they make the back of their throats, and just kind of eyeing the ones that Fitz kind of felt were shady.
Mm-hmm.
And never just pacing back and forth, but never leaving eye contact for either one of them.
Yeah, Fitz is gonna hate me for this, but I'm sitting in a corner, kind of by the foot of the stairs, and I'm holding an action to flip the bag of holding inside out as soon as shit gets different, because this seems bad.
There's shit in there, man.
Yeah, it takes an action to pull out each item. Or we can dump it. I know you're gonna get mad.
Is it gonna break the healing potions I have in there?
No, did you put the flags in front?
We'll
I don't
see.
think that's how that works.
When
We'll
you
see.
dump this thing, it just gets dumped.
It gets dumped.
All of it just goes on.
Now the real problem is
So you're
this:
prepared to dump this bag out?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill
the
you.
Bronze Bullies' fortune is in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also
You're gonna
that
dump
means-
10,000 gold into this
What?
tiny
We'll
fucking
pick it back
room.
up. We'll pick it back up.
Yeah.
But
Before
also,
the-
all of our
all
weapons
those-
will come out at once, as opposed to me
No.
using an action to take them out.
Just
Nick,
pull your freaking sword out.
It takes
You'll
an
be fine.
action for each one.
Then start pulling them out now.
During
They don't
this-
know that I'm planning this. That's what
Please
I'm planning.
don't.
during
Oh
this
my
tense
God.
moment.
Please, why'd I give this to Telmood?
Embrace
Good
the
question.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I tried to give it back.
Proxenos is hearing the steps of Theodotus coming back to the stairs, making sure that he can get to him if someone or something attacks him.
In the crowd, Sophia is just going to hear in her brain Perseus's voice. That speech was a suicide note. he thinks he's going to die.
I don't know if I can reply or not, but anyways, Sophia's just watching the crowd as he did the speech.
You guys in separate locations in the crowd? Is Sophia right next?
I think we would have spread out, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably would have spread out.
Okay.
I'm a centaur, man. You think there's a chair there for me? Nah. I'm just walking around like the perimeter of all the fucking bleachers.
Yeah, right.
I'm just keeping an eye on the
Meletis
crowd
is pretty
to see.
progressive. They've got some like centaur ramps and stuff.
Yeah. Did anyone look kind of suspicious as he was doing the speech or
No.
anything? Okay, because she was just watching the crowd because of maybe an assassin out there or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So just watching, looking for it as he's descending those stairs, and as they're all preparing. Fitz notices like the lady that's standing there is like there's like a sweat going down her cheek as the guy playing the lute begins to play a song, and as she begins to kind of sing, and then two of the figures kind of try to push between Telmoon, and like they pull out like these like their weapons from under their cloaks, but Telmoon is dumping the bag begins to go down. As you push that person forward.
Nikki's face.
Just a mountain of treasure.
Just
pushes
treasure
it back.
starts to.
I'm so mad.
And so, like the shot as we pull back is like this slow motion, like almost like Renaissance painting, as the room is just filling with treasure.
There's more gold
and
than square
weapons.
footage in that room.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure. That shit's gonna be overflowing in the stairs. He's gonna be walking on
So
top
people are
of
getting,
gold
everybody's getting
coins.
thrown back, getting blown back. in
One's gonna
slow
get
motion.
engulfed and just strangle.
As the gold is kind of like flying out, and you can hear like you can maybe Sophia and them can hear like the emote of Phil Dis being like as some of as people are like leaving, and you kind of can tell something is happening behind, and all this is happening. Proxinos is remembering at the same time the dream that he had earlier, where it was a moment between, seems to be this moment between Heliod and his brother in the underworld, partitioning off land. And Heliod is like, you must provide a place for those who are just. And Erebos is like, this is my domain. You don't get to tell me what to do. And you can see that Heliod designated an area to be Elysia. And it was Heliod's rule that allows people to have that. And with Heliod gone, you have this nightmare's vision of his long horn, your father, as Erebos takes his whip and cracks it along, severing it like, along the borders, allowing Elysia to break and begin to drift off into the Nyx. And you flash back to the room filling with gold, and as the room's filling with gold, and they're all fighting somewhere at the edge of the docks. The crew is kind of running wild, like, no, stop. Kai kind of runs to the edge and looks over, her tail is wagging. She doesn't have a chain on anything, and she leaps off the ship under the twilight, and her wings extend, and she takes off flying. But she doesn't leave, she just starts to fly in a circle around the ship over the harbor. Just flying around.
Everybody know we got a dragon.
And she,
This is why I try to commission a hobble.
and we'll crash the black in there.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dragon
god.
Everything that could have gone wrong did.
What do you mean? My plan was perfect.
You just made the bullies broke.
We can pick up. They're not going to be able to run away with our gold.
They're not going to be able to go anywhere with it yet, to be honest.
We can pick our gold back up.
You're talking to a bunch of broke ass philosophizers, man.
I would
And
love
there's
to see
10
them try
G's
to.
right there.
I would love to see them try to run away with it. I'll stab them all.
Seriously, which one of them?
I don't think anybody can run away. Period. Like they'd have to knee deep right now.
Eddie,
in
thank you, brother.
gold.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
seeing you.
Bud,
They all
You take care.
Eddie.
Later.
I think
pleasure.
they're like knee deep in gold at least, like
Yeah. And I would assume healing potions are like in bottles that are thick enough to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff all in.
Like they're not like super fragile. Like
Yeah,
they're meant to be carried on your pouch.
They're glass.
There's thicker glass. Like
When's the last time you
all
dropped a
these-
glass?
there's glass that's like a beaker for a chemistry strat, and then there's glass.
That's glass.
There's glass
It's
that's
not
meant
saw
to
like
survive.
Vince's
It's
face
glass.
like,
It's glass.
no.
Oh, it's hilarious because the moment he did that, her face. But the funny part is, next time we play, Kai's just fucking flying around.
Yeah.
We gotta deal with that now.
I can't wait to try to depict the room full of gold like that. That's gonna give me a task to figure out. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
have fun.
Yeah.
Man, you might as well
Oh
take
my
everything
God.
out of that square
Yeah.
and just paint like styrofoam yellow.
Oh,
And be like, you guys
man.
are fighting on top of this. It's difficult
That
terrain.
was-
Good luck.
Oh man. Well, yeah.
This was
This
a
way we
complete
can pick up our
clusterfuck.
weapons.
Spray paint some cotton gold.
Now remember, Kai is not flying away, so it's like almost under that twilight, she's just like circling the
No,
ship.
she's just exercising. She's just having a great time.
Well,
Yeah.
remember,
The
so
city sees
She's
it.
a good dragon.
She couldn't
Mhm.
fly last session. This is
Yeah.
her- this is her
Now
first
she
time.
can.
Now she can.
I'm not even there
Great.
for her first flight. I'm such a bad mom.
Yeah, now we're gonna have a conversation when we get back, me and Kai.
No,
Is
you
this-
shut your mouth.
Oh,
Is
it's not gonna
somebody
be with my mouth.
holding This dragon, like
What's that?
This dragon's gonna be the downfall of the
somebody
bullies.
holding the dragon as it's doing its rounds.
No, she's gonna be
We're-
great.
It's
Those-
kind of quiet out
those
there, so I
cultists,
imagine
she's
it's just
Are
like
charging our ship
the
right now.
silhouettes of those Akrons like running back and forth, like no, like come back. You know?
Yeah.
She's gonna be the downfall because
Bartholomew's
everyone's like, stop, don't. But
Those
Fitz is like,
cultists
no.
Are gonna
she's
go attack our
okay.
ship, and all of
She's
those,
okay.
all
She
of
hasn't
those
done
hoplites are
anything
fired.
bad.
all of them are fired. What do you mean she hasn't done nothing bad?
I mean, she hasn't done anything
There's
bad.
a
She hasn't come
dragon
after
out there.
any of us.
She disobeyed.
She listens when I say don't.
She disobeyed. Did you
Fitz
tell her
told
she was
to
allowed
be
to do
good,
that?
And Fitz told her.
I
She
didn't
told
tell
her.
her
She
not
said
to
she was not
fly.
gonna fire anything. She said she wasn't gonna blow.
She's
any
not
flames.
catching anything on
She's
fire.
not eating
No, she's
anybody.
just bringing everyone in the city to her.
How
wasn't
many
part of my
hoplites did
rules,
we have
that's
on the
fine.
ship?
It was part of my rules. 0 tolerance.
We have
13?
all 13 hoplites there because
It's-
I'm pretty sure some fucking
They're all
zealots
fired. I'm
are
bringing the
gonna
dude,
start
the
going
guard.
there.
He's number one.
Don't make me PvP, you guys.
They're all fired. All the hoplites are fired right now.
You know
starting with
damn well it's
Bartholomew.
gonna be. There's gonna be a
She
PvP
could be.
moment.
She could save us. You saw her dad fly through space. What if we could fly through space on a dragon, you guys?
We got a hammerhead.
It's on a ship.
You also
We're
realize that
trying to save the world, and you're poo-pooing another ability to transport things. While
We
we're
have
in a
another
city
ability.
looking
We
for
have-
ways
we
to
have
transport
token.
people.
I'm all
That-
for it, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm bound by trees.
when it comes next too.
I'm gonna
We don't
stop
want to go nowhere
recording
with no trees.